You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Let us fight to free the world. Let us all unite. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. Let us fight to free the world. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You are men. Let us fight to free the world. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world. A decent world that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight for a world of reason. A world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite. Let us fight to free the world. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world. You, the people, have the power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight for a world of reason. A world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite.
And we are live. Welcome everybody. It is Hump Day. Happy Hump Day to everybody. Downhill from here on, eh? Well, depends. It's not really down, is it? Top of the hump. To some people, it's the same. It's all the same. So, yeah, happy Hump Day. We're trying to keep these midweek days within the Trivium spectrum of things. So, quite important to sort of mention why we're talking about the Trivium, particularly within this arena. I used to call it arena, but it's more like a circus, really. Of debate or conversation. The Trivium is of ultra importance because it's how we are able to communicate to each other using the grammar, the words correctly, and being precise with the words that we use and how we structure the words together into form sentences and statements. And we can then formulate those statements into logical formulas to help us acquire a reasoning process to outcome with a proof, logical proofs. That's why we sort of stick around this, because I think if we're in communication with other people, we need to be able to have that preciseness with the words that we use. And particularly within this, what we've found, there is zero argument to come from the globe side. We just talk about things that are obviously provable in reality, and this group of people are trying to confuse people. They're
Bev,
hoodwinking people. Yes.
can you change your screen? You're on the wrong channel.
What do you mean? Am I? Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, there we go. Is that better?
Thank you.
Yeah, so we are, the aim is to be able to have communications with people, and it's pretty obvious that there are a group of people who are unable. They have no argument. They are unable to have a normal conversation because of the reason that they cannot formulate an argument. And by rights, if you don't have an argument, you have no place within the debate scene. All you have, if all you can bring is a non-argument, all you have is sophistry, which is the manipulation of other people's words through semantics and stuff and the like. And they very often try and flip it around to make you defend your argument as though that's their argument. It isn't. And it's about time we started pointing that out, that this group of people that obviously have no argument are going to be struggling. And the Trivium is obviously how we overcome this. Finding logic is a way to root out the fallacies within arguments. And when you know that the opponent cannot form an argument, then you sort of already have the basis of the upper hand within a debate. Jose's telling everybody there. Yeah. Jose's the man. He knows. He thinks he can debate without an argument. Perfect example of how people can be fooled by idiots. And it's allowed, it's accepted. It has to be, really. I mean, if they can't debate without an argument, then they can't debate, and that's not fair. So that's the idea of tonight. And today I've been talking to Red's Rhetoric. Now, there was a series of events that occurred starting about 2 weeks back here. Red's Rhetoric, we noticed he was back on the scene. I've never talked to Red's Rhetoric. And we have one of the resident Wolfpack members, not Flatzoid's Wolfpack, the other one, Wally, where's Wally from the other wolf pack, not Flatzoid's wolf pack. I think Flatzoid's got a wolf pack, not that one, the other one. And they Wally said it would be a good idea. I think he meant it as a joke, but like I said, at the time now I'm practicing the Trivium, so I'm completely up for any sort of debate with anyone. For any reason, really, because I just want to learn how to debate. Very easy. So Wally said, it would be good idea for you to have a word with Red's Rhetoric. And I said, yeah, that'd be a great idea. I'll be able to tell him about realizing Euclid. Maybe try and explain it to him, the horizontal paradox that doesn't exist in reality, only on a model. And a few days went by and Wally obviously couldn't do anything about Red's Rhetoric. So he said, you'll have to ask him yourself. So I did. I went on Twitter and I found the Non Sequitur show, because I knew that's where Red's Rhetoric was. So I got in touch with them and, you know, I said, would you like to hear the realizing Euclid tests and the horizontal paradox? I would come on your show and present it. And then Reds got back to me saying about some sort of a debate that he wanted. And I said I wasn't really particularly keen to have a debate with Red's Rhetoric, but I just wanted to chat. So ever since then, Red's Rhetoric has been requiring me to make a statement that I'm never going to make in order to be able to debate Red's Rhetoric. And I'm not interested in debating Red's Rhetoric because, like I've said, there is no argument that can come from the globe. So I got a few of these pictures from, I have took a few pics today, but put these in the live chat. Now, I have said to Red's Rhetoric, and he's put these in here. Right, so first off, Red's Rhetoric sends me a lot of things like this. We already went over it, and in order for this debate to happen, you must be honest about your position. Dishonesty will not get you a debate with me. This is Red's Rhetoric saying this, because he's the most honest guy in this whole arena, Red's Rhetoric. I'm hoping we can get somebody to come and tell you about Red's Rhetoric, because I don't really know very much. I do know that there is a lot of things that we don't know that have gone on with Red's Rhetoric, and he disappeared from the scene for a while. That's why like I said, I've never talked to Red's Rhetoric, and I would like to talk to him, because being a student of the Trivium comes in 3 stages. It's grammar, logic, and rhetoric. And this man goes by the name of Red's Rhetoric. So that being how you portray the story and how you give over your knowledge to other people, I would like to be able to experience it, because I don't think I've ever heard Red's Rhetoric within a debate format. I think it would be good to be able to hear. So I would, although I didn't ask for this debate, and now it's been offered from Red's Rhetoric, I would gladly welcome it. He says, you've already admitted you are a flat earther in the past, and I don't know if anybody knows anything. I'm not a flat earther, and I never have been a flat earther. It would be a ridiculous position to hold. So he says, quit lying so we can do this thing. That's what he says. I've sent him many messages to let him know, right? And they always start off with, I'm not a flat earther, but I will make the claim that all horizontals are parallel, right? Obviously, that's a claim I'm definitely willing to make. I have logic statements to go with it. I mean, and I said, and that water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. And I said, I'm able to make arguments and give proofs for these statements. If that's what he wants me to do, he wants me to hold a position on a model, then those two positions are two arguments that I am willing to make, statements I'm willing to stick by. And I will defend the Euclidean geometric model and those two positions in reality, in debate. If he wanted to debate and show exactly how good his rhetoric is and his knowledge of globe, but he is, then he can debate his side of position, and that's the position that I'm willing to take. I think that's a very generous offer, but I'm not going to say I'm a flat earther, because I'm not a flat earther. The earth is not flat, observably so.
I have to say that I cannot understand this restriction that you have to admit that you are a flat earther, then someone from globe side will debate you. I cannot understand this restriction.
I didn't even ask for the debate. I just said I wanted to chat, to talk about the realizing Euclid tests. I mean, I thought this is the sort of thing that we should be getting involved with together. You know, like, I mean, what's wrong with going through realizing Euclid? It's common ground. Both sides of this and neutral people all should be able to come together to realize the Euclid and do the Euclid tests in reality, surely. So that's all I wanted at first. Now he wants to turn it into a debate, and I'm saying these are the positions I hold, and these are the arguments I won't be able to make within a debate format. If you want to debate, let's debate. It's pretty simple from my position. And this is Red's rhetoric, right? I think he went away in shame. So this is his big comeback. He's got a big chance to show his fan base all of his globe knowledge and his rhetoric. So cool. He's named himself after rhetoric. I would love to experience it in a debate setting. But I think, like I said, the problem is now that we know they cannot make an argument. So they're always going to run, just the same as Blue Marble Science and Mobius. Mobius knows that Blue can't have an argument. He has no argument in favour of the globe. Therefore, no real right within the debate scenario. You cannot debate without an argument. And that's where they're going to lack. They cannot. They do not have a position, an argument to defend a position. It's terrible. Whereas a geometric position, provable within reality, is a very easy position to hold and argue for. It's very easy to show people what an argument is. At least mathematical. proof type thing. I've got to think about that. So yeah, that's the idea of these Trivium nights, are hopefully to show people the importance of all of these aspects that go together to form the basis of our communication. So here it says, what is meant by mathematical proof? A sequence of statements, each of which is either validly derived from those preceding it, or is an axiom or assumption, and on the final member of which the conclusion is the statement of which the truth is thereby established. That sounds very wordy. Doesn't sound mathematical, does it? It's because it's logic. The mathematical proof is a logical proof derived as in a system. Axiomatic. Go on.
This sequence of statements is called syllogism. 3 statements called syllogism.
And that is a mathematical proof.
It means that mathematical proofs are the same as logical proofs.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And since the number is derived similar to geometry, and geometry is also based logically as well, exactly the same.
Yes.
They are all together. All derived from reality too, because that you can't find a proof from not reality. They only exist in reality proofs. So these mathematical proofs, these logical proofs, are all based around the logical laws of logic. You can't break the laws of logic, because mathematical proofs, geometric proofs, you can't go to the heart of logic and start messing around with it. That's the understanding of everything, really. But that's the problem with the globe, frantic bunny ears. Because there's a lot of people who actually have that model and it's in their mind. It's broken down at that logical level, and that's dangerous. A lot of there's going to be a lot of struggling people with the proofs that we have, the way we can form arguments, the way we can laugh and joke about it. This isn't a problem. It's not a problem to me at all. Using logic and everything around me to derive and reason. It's quite easy, I think. I can't imagine what it would be like not being able to do it. Being lost in a illogical sense and not being able to find some sort of a logical framework to build anything on. Must be terrible. And I think that the Trivium is there. It's going to annoy a lot of people, especially if you when you try to use logic around certain people. I mean, you'll know. Everybody knows them. You'll have to learn who to talk to and who not to talk to, because People get really annoyed at you. That's mainly why I'm here in this Discord server, because I can't be accused of going over and upsetting people. It's never really worked out well, although we've tried to go over and chat to people, and I think we did have some good chats. We can have conversations, but a lot of people get annoyed at some of the questions I ask. I heard a couple of it today. I can't help it. So yeah, I am up for any sort of debate, but like I've said, I know that there is no globe argument for the globe can be made. I can make one. I've got a very good modus tollens with the globe in it.
Asking questions and using logic, that's a no-no these days.
It is. It's getting us shut down, isn't it, within conversations?
It appears so, yeah.
But yeah, I'm still up for. I'm waiting for Mobius and Blue. That as soon as that debate happens, then you'll see exactly what benefits the Trivium logical thinking placed with mathematical understanding. You'll see how good it is, and that will be the start of the debate, the great debate, because everybody will want to have a go at debating after they've seen that.
Yeah. Speaking of Blue, I spoke to him yesterday.
Did you? Nice.
Yep. Apparently the debate is on.
Nice.
He claims that, he did claim that Mobius was running, and I told him, look, he ain't running. He told me that it's on, and, he's a busy guy, so just, make a date. So he's game, apparently.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah, Mobius is playing it low. He doesn't realise. He said he wouldn't call it a debate, but it's the debate of the century. It's huge. Buster's gonna do a song and gonna have an intro. It's gonna be great.
We still need a meme. Sugar Cookie. If you're listening.
Full on GIF.
Yeah. With flames in the back and everything. Like the one he made. Who did he make? He made one for me.
Didn't he
and
have
for
one
somebody
for
else.
Sean? Wasn't it Sean?
I'm not sure. But I think it was Mobius and me. But I can't remember who the opponents were, to be honest with you. And he did a good job, too.
Yeah.
Fire in the background and like UFC style stuff.
I think when he was in here last time, somebody else was talking, and I didn't think he quite liked it. I don't know. I think it might have been Alfag was in here, or maybe Brenda. No. He gets on well with Brenda. Yeah, it must have been Alfag.
Yeah, he gets on well, very well with Brenda. Too well, if you ask me.
Oh,
but
got
hey,
Zep Teppy in the chat as well. Hey, Zep Teppy, long time no see. Obviously triggered in from Gems. Gems sent you. Good to know you're all listening over there. Wonder whether they actually do any debating over there, because that is debate flat Earth and more. So when was the last debate over there? Because that'd be a good one to know. And what was it about? What was the topic?
You mean they're debating over there now?
Flat Earth debate and more. That's what it's called, isn't it? It's not changed the name of it.
I never seen a debate there.
Yeah, he's talking about debates. Zeptepi. That's where Zeptepi's from, isn't it? So, get in there. Like I say, I am fully on board with the Trivium. I want to test myself. I've got my final thesis that I need to learn rhetoric in order to be able to present my final thesis. So yeah, I'm up for debate, any sort of learning. Anybody wants to come and have a conversation, come on in. Let's see how well I can perform. Who knows? I'm up for debate, but I also know, Globers, that there is no argument that can be made in favour of the globe. And you may be asking yourself, what's an argument? Well, if you want to debate, it's a very good idea that you know what an argument is. You want to know what an argument is? Come and train with us in the Trivium. Because this is gonna be good. We're going to train in how to talk to each other, how to be more exact in our statements, how to formulate arguments. Ideally, what we're after is a tautology. That's like the sacred logic. Wonder whether we could find a tautology somewhere, like the Holy Grail at the end of the logic trail. That would be really good, wouldn't it?
I have one. This globe.
The statement, the all-encompassing statement.
All in one. All you can eat buffet.
Argument, statement, and proof all in one. 'Tis globe.
Yeah.
It's all you need. Imaginometry.
Like an SUV. Bit of this, a bit of that.
So, yeah, that's what we're after. Now, the benefits, obviously, logic is mainly the one that I would say to people, if you think it sounds a little bit mathematical, it sounds a little bit above you, it's not. Couldn't be simpler. Logic is something that I'm pretty sure most people employ a lot of all the time. They're just unaware of it. That, you know, their ability to logic. More so for the people that haven't had education, you know, a formal education. The ones that have had to make, well, just get by day to day, do a job and get better at it. There are logical steps that you get to in order to get better at what you do. Improvement things. It just happens naturally. But it seems like an education, keep bunny ears, education, normally stops you from acquiring this logic. So it has a reverse effect. One, they take logic out of the system, and then the people that actually do employ natural logic are taught that they're not very bright. Therefore, they don't imagine that they're clever. And that's where the all of this trivium would come to show. Because having an understanding of the trivium and how to communicate more so, and having that ability to go and learn for yourself, which is basically what the trivium teaches you. It teaches you a learning method, one that you'll be able to formulate better arguments and questions for people, which enables you to gain more knowledge. You can think quicker and reason better if you have these foundings, the footings, the foundations to go forwards with. So that's the idea of these days. Obviously, we haven't really done much this week. This week's like a bit of a freestyle week. Hopefully we'll get back to the more structured days soon. Hopefully, maybe there might be a bit of a change, who knows. But so within everything that we do, I think you will notice, everybody will notice that anybody that's within this group will have I don't know, they will be able to ask questions, and hopefully everybody can ask any question they want. But when asked a question, hopefully they will be given the time to reply with the best answer that they can. That sounds fair, and I hope everybody will adhere to that. Hopefully there will be no talking over each other or anything like that. And we should be able to learn through structured conversation and debate. We try to within the debate, it really should be, I think, is the proposal of an argument, which is somebody puts forward an argument, and then the discussion around that argument to hopefully all together bring that argument as close as we can to a tautology. I would say that would be the ideal. Now, all of these things that I'm talking about are just general reasoning. People will be able to hopefully, if we can make logical statements and arguments that are so simple they can be understood by everybody, and the process followed, then that's got to be beneficial for everyone. Anybody listening to any debate or conversation should also be able to follow along with anything that we're doing, and hopefully that's what we're going to be doing. Does that sound like a good idea? I mean, I think most people within the Discord server already know that, but I'm just trying to make it apparent to everybody listening. This server has been, always will be, on the level. It's all about honesty and trying to discover new truths or proofs for yourself. Anybody wants to come in, you can just come in, join in with the with the conversation, with any of the debates or whatever. If we want to structure some sort of a debate, Paper said he would like to have some sort of a debate with somebody. Me the same. I'm pretty sure there are other people that are willing to try this out. SE1, Mobius, definitely Mobius, and Blue Marble. That's the first one. After that, I think we are all now students of the Trivium. Any comments from anybody? Still only early, isn't it? 20 to 9.
I think it is hard to find people with arguments because, for example, globe logicians cannot provide any proofs. So if seasoned logicians cannot provide proof, so what to say about normal people? It is very hard work to make an argument, consistent argument. So I think this could be hard task for some people. That's why they cannot come here, or they are not willing to come here.
Well, they know now that we know that they have no argument, and I personally think they only people that they actually have on their side that understands anything about that would be don't laugh, Brenda. Seriously, I don't think there's never been within this arena circus that we're in, there's never been a debate. That's pretty obvious. That, you know, structured debate, or, you know, type thing. So if there's never been a debate like that, I think Brenda might be the one that's supposedly done it in the politics server. Don't know if anybody else has come from the politics server. Maybe back in the days of the guys that used to debate evolution. Maybe there was some debates back then, but I wasn't back there. I didn't know any of that. I know I've never seen a debate or whatever I would call a debate. I've seen a lot of channels and things that have seemed to have shifted the meaning of debate. But I mean, rightfully so. You can't have a genuine debate if nobody knows what an argument is. Not saying that I know either. I am a student of the Trivium, though. So if anyone would like to come in and tell us what they think an argument is, or maybe you know what the best argument you could formulate for the globe. You could think of a positive argument you could make for the globe. Come in and let us know. Put it in the YouTube chat. Where's Brenda? Brenda's muted. Students of the Trivium. How do we want to handle this one tonight? Is anybody
hear what Brenda has to say?
Yeah, has anybody got any other words before we let loose the Brenda? I will unmute Brenda. Thanks for
The more respect you have, Brenda, the longer you will stay. Remember that.
Thank you very much for joining, Brenda. Was I right in saying that you, Brenda, would be the most experienced of the globe side within the debate setting?
Don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Could you think of anybody that could equal you at least? Because then I would like to know. Because like I
Lots of
say, student of the
MC
Trivium.
Tune, Mr. Sensible, MC Tune, Mr. Sensible,
Debate.
Blue, any of those people.
Blue. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, any of those people.
Those three. Jolly good.
Well, there are lots of others. Right. So
They're
I
on
don't
an
know.
equal, at least an equal
Rumpus.
footing.
Rumpus when he can behave himself. I think the other day showed, that everything that you've been saying. What prompted me to come in is I was doing something else, and then I was just casually tuned in, and what prompted me to click and join were all the lies.
Again,
Yesterday showed
is that Rumpus?
yesterday showed that you have absolutely no commitment at all to honesty and the truth. You have none.
Enough.
You have none.
Have you said enough, or did you want me to start?
And see, this right here shows that you don't. Right. So you're going to. I'm going to complain. My complaint is that you interrupt, mute, and censor people when you don't like what they're saying.
What are you saying? You're saying that you were lying. Have you got any?
I'm saying that you have no. I'm saying that you don't have.
What was the lie, Brenda? Give us the main lie. Come on, give us the main one.
Well, for right now, it is that you all of this is just pretense. You don't have any kind of moral commitment to the truth, to debate, to just letting the facts determine things.
Now who's
You
lying?
don't.
Now who's lying?
It's been demonstrated repeatedly by the behavior of the people in this server that you have no commitment to the truth. That's why people won't come here.
What would be your main argument, Brenda? So it's Trivium night, Brenda. Like we're starting
And
off at the
also,
beginning.
yeah. And also, how much truth do you really want, Brenda?
So that was, I take to be a threat to talk about gender identity and stuff like that, and to be offensive and abusive, which is
no, that's just
no need for you to do that, Brenda.
That's just come out of your. That's just come out of your mouth,
which
not
is simply
mine.
more indication that you have no morals at all.
Why would you want to go to that, Brenda? Why?
I'm not sure.
What did I say? I said I take that
I'm
to be.
not too
I
sure
take that to be a
Is this
threat.
because
When
you
somebody
haven't
says,
got an argument, Brenda?
no, I take that
Is
to
this
be
the
a
way
threat.
you use to get out of?
No,
A threat.
A threat.
What kind of threat? Yeah, what kind of
I
threat?
take it to be a threat. Yeah.
What kind of threat? How could little me threaten you?
A threat to make sexual comments about me because you have an issue.
Asking if you want to go down the full truth road is asking.
No, I don't have any problem with the truth. I don't have any problem with the truth.
Well, apparently you do, because you've just inferred me asking if you want the whole truth. You've just gone off on a tangent, Brenda.
That's not a tangent.
You said there was something sexual about it, Brenda.
Yeah, I
take
nothing.
Believe
I
me.
take it.
Nothing
I take it to be
sexual about that at all.
That you will start engaging in sexual comments and ad homs based on my gender.
That's you.
Why?
You're doing that.
Yes, you
Not
are, Brenda.
me. That's me saying this is what I think is meant when Emma starts talking like that.
Brenda, don't think your sexual thoughts whenever Emma says something, because that's not going to go down too well. That's very weird.
Well, then maybe you could just stop doing this kind of crap. You want the truth? Yeah, I can handle truth, but that's not what you mean.
What?
Well, I know, Brenda, can I borrow your crystal ball one of these days, please? Because apparently it's working very well.
Sexualization of Brenda's bits? I don't know. Like, I doubt it.
No.
in
I
my
wasn't.
opinion,
No,
this
you
is
might
what
have
you
didn't
are
been,
think-
about.
Brenda. That might have been you thinking that, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
nobody
now,
else
literally
did.
what I
unfortunately.
said.
I know.
It's
Why did
literally
you
what I
do that,
said.
Brenda? Who wants to think of?
That's literally what I said
Oh,
is
yes.
I think literally what I said is I think that's a ruse in order to justify starting making sexual comments and abusive remarks about my gender identity.
I think that you just imagined all of that from I didn't even say. I just said, do you
I just
want the
told
whole
you that
truth?
it's something that I think if you want to disabuse me of that idea of mine, then go ahead.
I think you're a communist, Brenda.
I'm not. I'm a dirty, rotten capitalist and a Democrat. I'm not a communist at all. In fact, I argue against communists consistently.
I think you're a communist, so it doesn't matter. It's what I think.
Oh, you need evidence for that.
This is
So
what
you-
you're saying. This is
so you-
basically what you're saying.
So you need evidence, and you have proof that Beth was doing what you think he was doing. How can you prove that? Bring argument.
Oh, she could. That would be easy. She could just inform me, right? You could just inform me.
No. Bring argument that what Beth was talking about something about you, maybe. Bring the proof that this was sexual.
Because it's been behavior in the past in this server is
No,
that
no, that
whenever
was Emma. That was Emma this time. Like,
yes, Emma has
Excuse
engaged.
me.
Emma has
Excuse me.
engaged in sexual
Excuse me.
abusive comments towards me.
I am not into women, Brenda. Okay,
That's
you're
not-
a woman.
not what
I
I'm
am
talking
not
about.
into women, so I would never
No,
make any kind of
I-
sexual comments to you. And I find that rather
That doesn't
offensive
follow.
that you would accuse me of doing that. I
That
find that really offensive,
know,
Brenda.
the
You're
fact that
treading
you
a
have
very, very thin line right now, accusing.
right? Okay, so then what do you mean when you asked me, can I take the truth?
Can you take the whole truth? It is a
Yes,
quite
yes, I
straightforward
can.
question, Brenda. So, what was all of
Yes.
this nonsense about your identity?
Yes, I can take the truth.
he's
Wow,
insecure.
we could have cut out that whole section about your sexual identity and just done that.
Not my sexual identity,
You
it's my gender
just had
identity.
to make you just had to make that a really big issue, and I have
No,
no idea
because
why. But
it's
now
what
you
you've done in
know.
the past, that's why.
Now you know I am not into women, I'm afraid.
I
Okay?
don't think that when people have a problem with me being transgender, I don't make the mistake of thinking that they are in some way sexually interested in me.
Does somebody have a
Who
problem?
said I
can't
had a
imagine
problem?
anybody
You
has a
did.
problem with
You did just
Brenda.
now.
Who could possibly have a problem with you, Brenda?
Yeah.
Uh,
You are the most
people who-
charming
You sort
person
of,
I've ever
yeah,
met.
Yeah,
I'm not here
you're
to win
always the
friends.
light of the party. Always.
Hmm.
Not here to win friends.
Well, you do.
Right.
You
So-
do, Brenda. You win lots of friends. We're always
I don't
glad
care.
that you come
I don't
round.
care. I
So
think
thanks for
that,
coming again. Thank you.
Yeah,
so-
anyway, did we want to get back onto topic? Apart,
Yeah, let's
we
get
don't
back
want
to
to keep
Trivium.
going on
Let's
Yeah,
go
the
about.
true.
Trivium. Brenda's going to make some sort of an argument.
let's
Okay.
get back onto the truth. The Earth is objectively and demonstrably a globe. Gravity exists, right? Coriolis is a demonstration of the rotation of the Earth, which
Is
Bob
that-
Nodell.
Can we
Bob
have an
Nodell
argument
with
though,
his
please?
Just
Just for
I'm
one of them.
making-
Just a random string of nonsense doesn't do anything. Just make one argument, please, for your initial claim that I lied about something. Just go do that one first, and then we can go on. You can do all your best globe stuff, because I'm pretty sure the globe community out there is ready and waiting for you to do the globe thing. But can you just finish off the lie thing first? Because I would hate to be here for you to be on this YouTube channel of somebody who you think is a liar. So can we sort that one out first, please?
You are.
For what, Brenda? Give us an example.
You're a flat earther, and you claim not to be.
I'm not a flat earther, Brenda.
You are.
No, I have a proof that it is definitely not flat.
Yeah, but your
So
proof
I
has been-
cannot be a flat earther with a proof that it's definitely not flat.
It's okay. Brenda is a
you
green
don't-
alien.
Mhm.
Brenda is a green alien. Okay.
You don't have a proof that the Earth is not flat, Bob.
Yes, I do. Of course I do.
No, you don't. It's been
Yes.
demonstrated to you to be a fallacious argument.
What, that it's not flat?
No, that the argument is fallacious.
Is Brenda a flat
I
earther?
think so. I think it must be. That Brenda
I don't
doesn't
think
want
everyone
to
else-
hear of an argument that says it's
You understand
not
what I
flat.
said, Bob?
I don't think
You-
everyone else is enjoying this conversation,
I
but
know.
Do you understand? You understand what I said, Bob? You claim that you have an argument that the Earth is not flat,
Yes.
and it's been demonstrated to you that your argument is not sound.
What, the
No,
argument that it's
Beth
not
is
flat?
arguing that Earth is not a globe. It doesn't mean that Earth is flat.
No,
Just
no, I
means that
I
didn't
haven't
say
made
that.
no, I haven't made an argument that it's not a globe. I've made an argument that the Earth is not flat.
Yes, I understand, and that it's been shown to you that that argument is not sound.
What, do you want it to be flat, Brenda?
How does that follow?
Well, because if I have an argument that it's not flat, and you say it's a fallacious argument, but it's stating that the Earth is not flat. So you realise you're arguing against the statement the Earth is not flat.
No, I'm not.
It
I'm
doesn't sound
arguing-
like it to me.
No, I'm stating, Bev, that your argument is not sound.
this is statement, not this is statement of fact.
I can get you
You know-
the one I think that Brenda's talking about, right? Let's have a look. It's in the.
But I still think that Brenda is confusing argument with statement of fact. Statement of fact
No,
is something else.
I'm not.
No, it goes like this. It states, if the Earth is flat, then there will be no measurable change in elevation. There is a measurable change on the vertical datum. Therefore, the Earth is not flat.
Yeah, that's not a sound argument.
It
Yes.
is. It
Yeah,
is
it's very
modus
sound.
No, it isn't.
It is modus tollendo tollens. Very well.
The first premise is false.
What?
Come on
if
then,
the
Brenda,
Earth is
explain it.
not- If the
yeah,
Earth is
explain
wait,
it. Take us
flat.
through the whole thing, Brenda, please. The whole thing. Tell us how it's wrong.
I just told you. The first premise is false.
If the Earth
No.
is flat.
So
It's really
you have-
barely a
No,
statement.
the
You're not.
first premise.
You're just saying it's negative of one thing. That doesn't make a positive of anything.
I didn't say it was positive of anything. I said that the argument is fallacious.
I was
How?
talking about what Beth said.
How?
The first premise is false.
How?
in which way?
Right? Why don't you write down the first premise?
If the Earth is flat.
That's not a premise, Bell.
The antecedent.
That's not a
P.
premise, Bell.
The P.
You don't even know what a premise is.
So you
How
are
can you-
not. You
What
are
is
not
a
going
premise?
to argue. You
What
are,
is a what
this
is a
is-
premise?
This is how modus tollens or ponens is created. You have conditional, and you are affirming or denying a condition. That's it. This is
What
that's
is-
how
Brenda,
modus.
Brenda knows how modus tollens work.
You don't know what an argument is. You don't
Okay.
know what a premise is.
If the Earth is flat,
You-
then there would be no measurable change in elevation because
That's
it
the
is
first.
flat.
That's the first premise. If the
Yes.
Earth is flat, there will be no changes in elevation.
Yes.
And that is the first premise, and it's false.
Why?
Because it doesn't follow that if something has changes in elevation, it is necessarily no longer flat. That's not what it means.
It goes into the third dimension.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it means.
Yeah, it does.
That's not what flat means.
Yeah.
Wait,
it does.
wait. You said it doesn't go to third dimension.
Yeah, that's not what it means.
You said that it's not going to third dimension, which is false.
That
That is
no,
not
it is.
true.
It is.
Change in elevation means that it is going into third dimension.
No, a change in elevation doesn't mean that it's no longer flat.
Yes, it is.
No, that's false.
No, you could have a vertical with a constant change in elevation, and it would still be flat, wouldn't it?
You see the diagram that you
As long as it stays on one axis, right, and doesn't deviate into the other.
That's false.
Yeah,
That's
that's
false,
what we
Val.
would say.
That's false.
Brenda.
You don't know what flat means. You don't know what a premise is.
Okay, well,
You
how
don't
would
know
you
what a
rewrite
sound
it?
and
Help
valid
us out
argument
then,
is.
Brenda. Help us out, please. Please reword that statement, right? If the Earth is flat, that has to stay, right? Could we
what do you
say
take- what do you take flat to
then
mean?
the surface with no elevation change would be 2D?
If there's no a surface can be flat, even though there are mountains and valleys.
Well, I don't know what that means. That's obviously false.
Yes,
Brenda.
I no, it's not. It's
Yeah,
true.
It sounds like you want mountains and valleys and still be able to call it flat. Are you a flat
Yes.
earther, Brenda?
Yes.
So you want the
Every
mountains
single-
and valleys to be flat, so you can be a flat
No.
earther. You can say, "Look at this flat Earth that we live on."
No.
Is that
It
what
can
you?
be-
That's what you want? Because I think that's ridiculous, Brenda. That makes
know
it
you
not
do.
flat.
I know you do. This is a problem. So
Mhm.
the Earth being flat is true, even though it has hills and valleys. You can't understand that.
Did you just argue for the flat Earth, then, Brenda?
No, I didn't argue for the
It
flat
didn't
Earth.
sound like it. You said it was
Sounded
true.
like that to
Because
me.
you don't understand basic
You
thinking.
did just say it was true. Somebody want to get that? Rewind it and get a clip of that, because that'll be genius.
Brenda,
So,
you a flat earther
if-
now?
How dumb are you?
It sounded
Because you-
like you're a flat earther to me there.
Yes, because you are just repeating
Can
what
somebody
flat
clip
earthers
that?
say.
No,
About
did you hear me say if?
no,
It's a conditional.
their argument is the same. They say that the Earth is flat despite of mountains and valleys.
Correct.
So-
That's what a flat earther would agree with me, and they would say that even though the Earth has mountains and valleys, it is still flat. They would agree with me, and I
Who
agree
would
with
agree
them.
with you? Who? The flat earthers?
They would agree with me that
What,
the
the
Earth
mountains
having.
and valleys are flat?
I never said mountains and valleys are flat.
Okay, I think you did.
Because
No, I didn't.
if you say that the Earth is flat, regardless of mountains and valleys, it means that you are ignoring the thing you are trying to prove or disprove. This
I'm
is
not trying to
nonsense.
prove anything.
Right, it does sound like you're trying to
No,
make a
I'm
case
not.
for mountains and valleys being called flat.
I'm not arguing that mountains and valleys are flat.
Good. I'm glad, because that'd be fucking ridiculous, Brenda.
What I'm saying,
Especially
Val,
for someone like you to be coming round here and teaching us about how good you're, like, because you're one of the best globe argumenters, right? And it would be a terrible thing to make an argument that mountains and
let me
valleys
try
are
it
flat.
again, Val. Most flat earthers will agree with me. By far, the large majority would say the Earth is flat, even though it has hills and valleys. it's still flat. Your inability to conceive of that's a you problem.
Brenda, do you realize you're saying that? Like, I don't want to even say it myself.
Go ahead
Yeah.
and say it.
I can rephrase that. So not flatness of mountains and valleys are proof or evidence for flat Earth.
Well, that's
That's
false.
what
That's
you are
not,
saying.
that's
Yes.
false. That's not what I said. That's
It's
false.
Yeah,
sort of, he was rephrasing it, but that's what I thought. It sounded
Yeah.
like you were saying, Brenda. It really
Yeah, I know
did to
that.
me.
I know. That
And this is
tells-
recorded. This is live, right? People are, oh, look at that,
Absolutely.
55 people. Share it out. Share it out.
I'll say it again, Bev.
Yeah, go on.
Just
Go on.
because the Earth has hills and valleys, right? A flat earther would say it is still flat, and I would agree with them that what they mean by flat would include, right, land that has hills and valleys.
Right, well, that's another case for me, definitely not being a flat earther, because I wouldn't agree with them at all. I'd say, no way could that be flat. That's one of the proofs that it's definitely not flat.
It's not a proof. What it shows is that it's a you problem, not anybody else problem.
No, it does show that I know how to measure elevation changes, and I know
it doesn't have anything to do with it.
But it's definitely not flat, Brenda. I mean, it's obvious to most people that that's definitely not flat.
No doubt. Everybody else understands what I said. I'll say it again. The Earth, it could be the case that the Earth could be flat even though it has hills and valleys.
It sounds for me like stolen concept fallacy.
It's not stolen concept.
So you are shooting your own foot, trying to prove something which evidence is otherwise.
No. I would disagree with flat earthers, and I would say that the Earth, even though it has hills and valleys, it is not in fact actually flat. It's round, and it still has hills and valleys, but it's still round, right?
Can we say 2D instead of saying flat? Can we just say 2D, right? Just to make it a bit clearer, because that's what you want to say, really, isn't it?
No, that's not what I want.
That's why you're on flat team with this, because you want to be 2D. 2D team.
No, I'm not.
You
I'm
and
not
Team Flat are like buddies now.
No.
Yeah.
I'm pointing out the limits of your conceptual
flat team, Brenda.
I'm pointing out the limits of your conceptual imagination. Right?
Well, I am imagining you and Team Flat getting together. It does sound like a deal made in heaven. You were debate team.
Have you seen the
brilliant?
Bev? Hey Bev, have you seen the map that most flat earthers believe in, even though they deny it, which is
I don't know about you, Brenda, but I think the term flat earther is a misnomer. So I don't actually think any of them exist. So no, I don't know what you're talking about.
They do. There's lots of people who think that the Earth is flat.
I don't think so. I think you have just expressed how you think the Earth is flat. If that's what you're talking about, then I can understand that, because you've just expressed to us how you can think it.
Have you seen the disk Earth that most flat earthers will say that's their idea of what the Earth looks like, right?
No.
Have you seen that?
No.
You speaking for flat earthers?
Yeah, Brenda's definitely a flat earther.
That doesn't follow.
Why are you talking about it?
Now you are talking about the disk
to understand the concept. To get you to understand the concept, right? Flat earthers have in mind a flat, disc-shaped Earth, right?
You are talking about surface, or you are talking about whole Earth?
Talking about the whole Earth. The
whole Earth is a
disc shape.
Brenda, if you can remember, this is Trivium night, and we initially started about making an argument. It seems now you're making an argument for flat Earth.
No, that would be a mistake on your part.
It does sound like that, though. It sounds like
No.
you're trying to argue that mountains and valleys can be considered flat.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
But that's what I got from just
Yes, I
earlier.
know.
I'm
Bev,
pretty sure that you said, Brenda, quote, the earth is flat.
Bev, that's
Pretty
a you
sure
problem.
that you said that.
This is a you problem. This isn't anybody else's problem. Everybody else understands this. You don't. That's fine.
It's okay. Well, I'm only one person, and there is 54 people listening, and there is 12 people in the
There
Discord
are
chat.
lots of
there's
flat
lots
earthers.
of people that are listening to this, and I'm pretty sure every one of them heard you say that the Earth is flat. You were making an argument.
I never
for
said
flat
the
Earth.
Earth. I never
You
said
were.
the Earth is. I never said the Earth is flat, Bev. I
did.
never made an argument for it being flat.
Yes, you did. You said just because there's no mountains or valleys. I mean, you said just because there's mountains and valleys doesn't mean the earth isn't flat. That's what you said,
No,
Brenda.
that's not what I said. I said
You
it
have it on
couldn't.
tape.
No,
You
that's
said,
not what I said.
Brenda,
you don't listen. That's the problem. You don't listen.
I'm pretty
Brenda,
sure
we
we
listened.
can clip
We
it.
listened. Brenda, we
It's about
listened.
10
You
minutes
said
ago.
that mountains and valleys not flat. That's what you said. It means that being flat means being not flat at the same time, which is contradiction.
No,
of
that's
course.
false. That's false. I'm not
Yes,
saying
yes,
that.
this is false because this is
No.
contradiction. Contradiction
You're-
is always
No.
false.
But you're wrong in how you're characterizing it. It's not a contradiction. Because I'm not talking about the hills and valleys. I'm talking about the underlying shape of the earth. That
Underlying, what do you mean
it
underlying?
is the overall shape of, it's like the pizza earth. That's what most flat earthers believe in, the pizza earth. And the fact that that pizza earth has hills and valleys,
Why are you talking
it
about the
is
flat
still
Earth
flat.
again, Brenda?
Why are you interrupting me?
Why are you talking?
I definitely consider myself a pizza
I'm
earth.
pointing out that you are equivocating
No,
between.
you bringing the argument, Brenda. You, not nobody
you
else.
just said it again, Brenda. You just said the mountains and hill thing and flat. You just said it now.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I was right then.
No, you're wrong.
But you
Do
just
you wanna-
said it.
Yeah,
No,
do you
I
want to
didn't.
take 5 minutes and go and
Here's the
replay
point.
it?
Back, Brenda.
Here's the point. Here's the point. What people are talking about when they talk about the flat earth is its overall shape, ignoring hills and valleys.
So they are ignoring this part which could disprove their statement.
You mean like a
No.
map, Brenda?
It doesn't follow.
Do you mean like a map,
they're-
Brenda?
They are
Like a
talking
flat
about
map?
overall shape and not the details. You are equivocating
But
on the details.
Maps do have contour lines on them, Brenda. They definitely try to depict the elevation changes
Bev,
within maps.
If I take a napkin and
you don't think a map is like reality, do you? Because it's definitely not. There's a difference, isn't there, between a map, a 2D map, and reality. There's a difference. There's an extra dimension there. You can.
What's being talked about is the overall shape of the earth, Bev, not the hills and valleys, which are details. Which are details within the shape of the overall shape.
I don't know whether that argument came up. Is that the argument that you're making, Brenda? Is this where you're going to get around to actually formulating an argument?
I just told you what I'm talking about. We're talking about the overall shape of the earth, not the details.
Okay, then make your argument then, please.
Well,
now that we all know what you mean, please make your argument.
That's why the first premise is false, because it commits a fallacy of equivocation between the details
of flat and 2D.
Stop interrupting me. It commits a fallacy of equivocation between the overall shape the particular details. You're equivocating, and that's a fallacy. Equivocation is a fallacy.
No, it's
That
just to
hence-
show the difference between flat and 3D.
That's false.
Yeah,
That's
elevation
false.
changes.
Yes,
Yeah.
because Brenda, you are just projecting because you are making equivocation fallacy because you are treating mountains and valleys like a flat plane. So
That's false.
you are equivocating mountains and valleys with flatness.
That's false.
And
I'm
this
not
is-
treating mountains and valleys as if they are flat plane. I'm treating them as details that can be ignored when talking about the overall shape of the earth,
But why they should be ignored?
because we're not talking about them. We're talking about the overall shape of the earth.
No,
So
that was
they
just
can
one
be
argument that I made, Brenda. Just one very simple argument to prove that the Earth is not flat, and you had an objection towards it.
Yeah, because the first premise is false. It commits a fallacy of equivocation.
Equivocating flat and not flat.
No,
Okay.
equivocating details to the overall shape.
It doesn't matter. Change in
Yes, it does.
elevation, geometrically, change in elevation means that this is no flat. Do you agree with that? Do you agree?
No. Is a vinyl record flat?
So,
No.
so
Is a
if-
vinyl record flat?
No.
Wait. You said that
Grooves
change
in
of
it.
elevation doesn't mean that it proves not flatness. So it proves flatness. So change of elevation means that it is flat. So your proof, you just said that proof for being flat is change of elevation. That's what you said.
No, it's not. Is a vinyl record flat?
I don't know. I don't know the
Is
word.
a vinyl record flat?
If a vinyl record is flat, then off you go.
This globe.
Is a vinyl record flat?
If a vinyl record is flat, then
Now I'm asking you a question.
I'm just trying to work out what the point of your question is by
This here
exposing it as an argument to prove that you can't finish the argument, Brenda. You can't make a point with your question.
I'm disputing the first premise. Is a vinyl record flat under your understanding, Bev?
No, it's got grooves in it.
Yeah.
That's how it plays music, doesn't it?
But people understand that if you say the vinyl record is flat, they're not talking about the grooves in the record.
Who says that?
Lots of people.
Who? I don't know. Like I say, I
What do you
wouldn't
mean,
say it
who
was.
you don't know. That doesn't matter, right? Can you talk about the overall shape, the underlying shape
circular,
of a vinyl record?
normally circular.
No, it's flat. It's a flat.
No. It's circular. The shape is circular.
It's a flat disc.
It sounds like you're obsessed, Brenda.
No, it sounds like you're mentally retarded.
Well,
if the vinyl record were flat, you couldn't play. You couldn't play. There would be no use of using this vinyl record in music.
It wouldn't
without
have been
these
pressed.
trenches.
Even
Literally,
Cosmic Surfer
Brenda
in the
is
chat.
shooting
Yeah.
on foot. So this is, for me, this was a perfect example of stolen concept fallacy.
It says in the YouTube chat, Brenda, it says a flat vinyl record would not produce sound. Fuckwit.
Brenda has left the building,
Oh, I'm probably
But-
embarrassed.
but in her place, she has left a rumpus.
Oh, he's muted. He's
Yeah, that's
deafened,
from-
muted.
Yeah, I know, but you have
Oh,
to.
I did that last night. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, offering the chat. Do we allow rumpus in on the Trivium day? What's that from the chat? Well, come on, I'll give you a chance. In the YouTube chat. Let's hear it from you. Should we allow rumpus to come in on Trivium day to produce an argument? Let's see what we get. Yeah. I don't know. This doesn't seem like much support. I'm not too sure about it, really. What's Discord think? The other guys that have to put up with it. Maybe.
I am always up to this, but it may end as always.
Would rumpus be one of your choices for debate paper?
No.
No, you wouldn't. Okay. We'll let him. I don't think he would be able to have a proper conversation or debate myself. Even though we know he has no argument, I think rumpus uses tactics that other people only go to at the end before they get really annoyed.
Ev, on your Earth, do points of constant elevation form a perfect plane?
What?
Try listening and understand, you moron. Do the points of constant elevation form a plane on the Earth?
Yes.
So there you are, you're a flat earth.
A horizontal plane.
No, because
that's what's meant by a flat earther. That's what a flat earther believes. Points of constant elevation form a perfect horizontal plane. Yes. That makes you a flat earther. Sorted. Well done, Brenda.
No, because you can do that also on the globe.
No, you can't. It doesn't form a flat. No, on the globe. Points of constant elevation form a sphere. You utter moron. You utter moron.
Happens, right,
elevation
points of constant elevation on the sphere, on the globe, form another spherical surface. You utter idiot. Jesus Christ, how stupid can you be?
Yeah. No, there is
You have got to be the thickest person in this panel.
Rufus, how rude can you be? If you're going to come in here and talk,
Emma, do you understand? Okay, Emma.
There is no such thing
Emma, if I
as
form another... Emma, if I form a surface a certain distance from a sphere on a football, let's say, and I increase, create a new surface a certain distance away from the football surface, I'll create another spherical surface, won't I? You understand that. Apparently, paper and Bev don't.
Okay, why are you getting so upset, so excited, and calling
because
people
I
names?
can't. Well, because I can't. Well, I mean, I'm trying to work out whether paper is really that stupid and Bev is that stupid, or they're just trying to deceive.
Or you've come in here because you've had a really bad day and you just want to shout at some people.
No,
and call them names.
I made a really clear point that the points of constant elevation. This is what flat earthers believe.
I don't think calling people names is making a point. To be honest.
Paper, demonstrates that he's either willfully stupid or deceiving. I mean, he can't be this stupid. Anybody who's got half a brain
this is reflecting very poorly on yourself.
It's reflecting very well on me, the fact that I don't tolerate the intolerable.
No, it is not.
And I refuse to tolerate the intolerable. And I made a very simple question.
You can't
even explain. Of constant elevation, I can, and if you let me finish, I will. On a sphere, and I was asking you a question, so because I want to see if you're prepared to play this game or not.
To 1 point.
Hold on. I'd like to ask. I'm sticking to the 1 point. I'm sticking to the 1 point. I'm going to ask Emma.
Slow down.
Emma.
Yes, Rumpus, calm.
Stop interrupting. Emma, if I've got a football, and I decide I want a 1 centimetre new surface that's 1 centimetre all the way around that football, you understand, I hope for God's sake, that you realise I've created a new spherical surface. Apparently paper doesn't understand that, and apparently Bev doesn't understand that. So on a spherical Earth, a point of constant elevation...
could you explain to me, one, the point of doing that?
Because I've just invalidated paper's claim that points of constant elevation can be horizontal and form a line, and they don't. I've just demonstrated to you that points of constant elevation, say on a football, as they would be on any sphere, like the globe, form another spherical surface. They do not form a plane. They do not form a line. They do not form horizontal.
That sounds like
paper and Bev apparently don't understand this incredibly simple point. Now, they either have to be the dumbest remedial morons going, or they're trying to deceive their audience.
Wait a second. I have to rebut your statement, because you are creating elevation, same elevation on curved line, and this is impossible because
No, it's
on
not. On the Earth, a point of
wait a second,
elevation
please don't
form a
interrupt.
certain distance from the
Curved-
surface of a sphere. So on a sphere is a football. Can you imagine a football? And can you imagine a 1
yes,
centimeter
we have
shell
heard- we have
around the
heard.
football?
Rumpus.
That shell
Rumpus.
is another
Rumpus.
spherical surface, and it's not a line. It's not a plane. It's another.
Right.
Can we get moderated?
I'm sorry, but
I'm gonna let Paper please
yes, because
finish
he's
what you were
repeat-
saying.
I was saying that you cannot create equal elevation on curved line because elevation is measured always due to straight line, not curved. So a curved line itself has non-equal elevation. So you cannot prove that anything with that. You just nonsensical statement. On curved line is not equal elevation by itself. Simple.
Well, like everyone was saying, and we have been saying for weeks within this Discord server, every single elevation profile ever made for canals, constructions of roads, of buildings, everything, everyone has a horizontal baseline, and the elevation is measured to that horizontal. So all points of an even elevation within every elevation profile ever drawn would be on a horizontal. But that was Rumpus for you, ladies and gentlemen. The globe expert.
Now you have heard the sample of Rumpus, and that's why I wouldn't debate with him, because this debate would sound like this.
Yeah, it's that's the best argument that can be made for the globe, is what Rumpus has just done there. He called me for saying that I know about construction, building construction, that every elevation profile has an equal elevation, is on a horizontal line. He called me a flat earther. So if anybody else has seen elevation profiles, architects, engineers, planners, surveyors, don't be surprised if people start calling you flat earthers. And I'm sorry, people, but I did just say that level is horizontal. That was the initial statement that I was brought into this with. I was never a flat earther, and I'm still not a flat earther. But now it seems that a load of people, namely Rumpus and the like, have now said that anybody that thinks that all points of an equal elevation lie on a horizontal, well, you're a flat earther now too. Sorry. I know I shouldn't have said it. Well, how can you not say it? It's the truth. Level is horizontal. Not much of an argument, more of a statement. But the implications of the statement get taken way too far by a group of people who have a model affliction. There's no need. We all just live in reality, and in reality, level is horizontal, as everybody knows. It's simple.
Sorry about that, Bev. My internet crashed
No
in the
problem.
middle of all that.
It's okay. Rumpus disappeared as soon as he was muted for over talking.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And that was Rumpus, and shows you the only way that Rumpus can get his point, and only his point, across, is by constantly over talking anybody else that is making any sort of a point. And when Rumpus talks, everybody's heard him. He talks about it in 5 different sentences. He keeps stopping, he keeps starting. If that's what's going on inside his head, no wonder he's so confused. If it's a trick that he uses to confuse everybody else in what he's saying, well, he does confuse the shit out of me. He never makes any sense. I don't think Rumpus has ever said anything that ever made any sense. And that's the truth. He does a lot of insults. And he does a lot of that. But I notice again, we've had 3 or 4 Globe people in. Not one single argument that can be made without them getting really upset. It does show. They don't like it when you make an argument for yourself. And they can't make an argument. What did you think of Brenda's reaction to the Earth is not flat logical statement? Anyone surprised at that? I thought Brenda was defending flat Earth for a bit. Brenda put some flat Earth boots on, I'm pretty sure. Or whether it's just the sort of flat Earth circular argument that Brenda's still after. I say we're out of it. It's of no relevance to me at all now. It's an overused word, Earth. To me, it's just dirt. Not even the rocks are Earth to me. They're rocks. I have a founding in the Trivium, see. Gives me a good founding of the idea of identity of something. If I can identify Earth as being the soil and stuff that you plant crops in, then you can definitely differentiate that between water and concrete and rocks and air. They're all different things. Easily identifiably different. I don't have a problem of grouping it all together. And imagining some sort of shape. There's no use, no need. Isn't this a weird, strange night? Honestly didn't think we'd end up with Brenda and Rumpus. I mean, Brenda and Rumpus came in the Logic night as well. It's a super team. You think they're a couple? They always come in together, don't they?
I noticed Soundly and Blue traveling together too over at the other sites.
Brenda did say Blue. She didn't mention Soundly about anything. So he mustn't be any good at debating. Mr. Sensible, Mac Toon, and who was the other one?
Blue Marble.
Blue Marble Science. See, Mobius is going to be lucky to get one of the top Globe debaters.
So it seems tonight that the best argument both Brenda and Rumpus brought here was that you have to ignore mountains and valleys to concede that the Earth is flat. So you have to defy reality. You have to defy your senses to acknowledge that the Earth is flat. So this is their argument.
Yeah, and sort of like the law of non-contradiction, Also, obviously the law of identity, P equals P and not P. So you sort of lose all of the laws of logic, laws of reasoning, have to be thrown out of the window for you to believe flat is not flat at the same time as being flat. It's ridiculous, utterly ridiculous. Yet this is what the globe requires of you. Brenda's just explaining it. Some point, somewhere, if you ever get involved with this conversation or this discussion about Earth shape, and you end up going and looking at actual shape geometry, at some point you have to end up saying stupid shit like Brenda tonight, defending a flat Earth position that's only been made because they require flat earthers to have that position to ridicule, when it's really what they want. They want 2D. It's amazing, really, the loops in. It's like 3 or 4D thinking, I think, reverse thinking. And I think they've ended up wrapping themselves in knots.
That's some fancy dialetheism to go there as well. Uber dialetheism.
What's the going on in the YouTube chat? They seem really upset tonight. Are they okay? Somebody give them a put an arm around the shoulder and be nice to them. They're obviously hurting. Yeah. I know, it's a painful process. We've destroyed that thinking, and it's a painful process to get it back again. And we know you're hurting, guys. If you've got a model, and I did say, you'd be better off just not listening, because this is very damaging to the model. Logical thinking and reasoning for people, for themselves, to be able to release themselves of this model.
But now I understand why Globbers are angry, because in their mind, I think you should ignore these valleys and mountains, because, of course, if you are using them as a proof of not flatness, they cannot refute that. So the other way would be only ignoring, and they demand from you to ignore them, these mountains and valleys. And if you are not doing it as they demand, they are angry. So that's it for me.
Yeah. So the idea of this initial statement is to let everybody know that it's definitely not flat. We definitely have an elevation change, and we know how to measure that, right? But when they say that's not an argument, we say, well, that's only an argument for flat. I think what they argue, what they want to be able to argue, which sounds even stranger, right? But they want to curve a level surface. That's where they want to go with this, flat. So they want the 2D, but they want it to be curved. So this is the first preparation, is that you get rid of the mountains to make it flat, but then you have an argument about whether flat is flat or whether it's curved like a sphere, because that's where they want to go, 2D. And it's going to, obviously, it's a big, hard sell. You know, it's a 2 or 3 stage process, but they're already there. They're at Tis Globe. The question is, how do you get everybody else to Tis Globe? Once you start with Tis Globe and backtrack it, you end up inevitably with a 2D curved sphere, right? We'll go over it with Euclid tomorrow, because this is the same thing. It always goes back to similar arguments all the time. But
Yes,
it is good this week, isn't it? It's been a freestyle week, but it's all building up to the same 2D, 3D, curved or not curved 2D.
yes, but they are maybe they are deceiving themselves, because if you have like Mike Jones posted these 2 planes, vertical and horizontal, and third auxiliary, but what really matters is vertical plane and horizontal plane. So the problem is that each one of these planes are 2D, but they are in different 2D, because they are sharing only one dimension, which is, for example, breadth, but they are so to speak, they are in different pairs of dimensions. They are not on same 2 dimensions.
Perpendicular to each other.
Yes, so one plane horizontal is, for example, let's say that X and Y is horizontal, and X and Z is vertical. So one pair is ZX and the second pair is XY. So they are on 2 different dimensions, or 2 different pairs of dimensions. So totally, these 2 planes totally are in 3D, not in 2D. They are sharing one dimension as common, but the second is always different. So in total, they are in 3 dimensions. So if it works for cube, it must work also with sphere. So they cannot get around this. Cube is in 3D, and ball, of course, and surface of the ball is in 3D also. You cannot disprove that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty obvious. If you were to put it in a box, then that box would obviously be 3D.
Yes, because but you don't need even a full box. You have 2 planes. They are 2 planes, considering them totally, are in 3D, but each one of them is in 2D, but in different 2D, not the same 2D. They are not both in X and Y plane. They are on 2 different planes, described with 2 different dimensions.
We'll go over that tomorrow. Big day, 2D, 3D. Globe exposed tomorrow. How can a sphere be a 2-dimensional surface? It's impossible, absolutely ridiculous. Yet it's what's required for the globe model. What leads them into the horizontal paradox is this idea that 2D is 3D, is 2D. It's a curved surface, it's level. Ridiculous. Easily provably false. But a little bit harder to prove false than the flat earth. We've already been over the flat earth one tonight. Logic. It's really easy to prove that the earth is not flat. Very easy.
is rather self-evident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of the biggest misnomers, and everybody gets all defensive about it and whatever. But I mean, they may like it, they may have used that term for themselves, but it's been given to them, and they've embraced it. It's a misnomer. Ridiculous. So, definitely not flat for anybody who's listening. And sorry, Red's rhetoric. I know that you only debate flat earthers from now on. You only talk to flat earthers. Well, I'm not a flat earther, so it looks like that debate's off. Although some people say that I am a flat earther still for saying that level is horizontal and having a proof for it. So you'll have to argue with Rumpus and Brenda and all of these people. It's hard to tell now. Is it worth clipping out something that Brenda and Rumpus say? Really? Oh, I'm not too sure. It makes them seem more important than they actually are. Really, it's just two idiots saying idiotic things. I don't think anybody else will repeat it or anything like that, will they? What do you reckon? I don't really want to go back to making videos and all of that, clipping bits. It was...
No, Brenda is not worth it. It's complete nonsense.
Yeah. What about Rumpus saying that anybody who says that all elevations of an equal thing, like all elevation profiles being horizontal, means you're a flat earther? Because I would imagine that's quite a lot of people now. Didn't realise that they were flat earthers, going by Rumpus's statement. Is that worth clipping?
That one might have some legs on it.
Might be a good one to show the BBC when you're down at Bedford.
BBC, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we might go with that. Yeah. So that would mean that if you thought that horizontal was a straight line, then you're a flat earther, then the water would have to do something other than be horizontal, wouldn't it?
The globe, yes.
Hump drop quandary. But luckily enough, he's got a video coming out, and then he's going to tell you, Essie, and Mobius, and I think Askin was invited, or he may have invited somebody else. Maybe Brian Leakey got an invite to show you how they're not different or they're the same. I'm not too sure. Yeah, maybe worth it. Clip that bit out. 1 minute.
Yep. You're going to show us no paradox. There's no paradox in the double drop hump.
It's good. He needs to slow down, I think, in the study of the Trivium. The rhetoric part is how you portray yourself across to make your point. I think Rumpus is wishy-washy. He's all over the place. He can stop mid-sentence and start a completely different sentence, then reverse it and say that he wasn't sure about what he was saying, and then carry on again with one of the other earlier parts of the sentence. It's very distracting when Rumpus does that. And I'm not too sure how much the Globe community enjoy Rumpus. But we'll see how he does in his video. He might have voiced it a bit more calmly. Might have changed his rhetoric. He might have changed his tone, his style. I hope so.
I wonder if Rumpus realizes that the way he comes in all aggressive and yelling that, like, you know, Rumpus, you defeat half of your argument, like right there. It's like half of what you say is finished right there. So sure, I'm not the first to tell you.
Did you sort of say half an argument or half his argument, like implying that he has an argument?
Well, I might have misspoken there, but yeah.
Let's say semblance of argument.
Yeah. Half of that is gone, at least half, right? If you're yelling and come in like that, abusive.
Yeah, it's got to be within the rhetoric, right? How you come across. And I'm thinking that Rumpus could learn from the Trivium, from the rhetoric. We could learn with each other on how to get our points across better. We should try to aid Rumpus in trying to explain himself a little bit better, because I know there are other people just like me that have never got any sort of semblance of what Rumpus is talking about. It just goes, you know, what the information doesn't settle because I don't understand what he's saying. And that's not because he's of a higher intelligence. Pretty sure of that.
He's talking in such a manner that you at least me, it's me. I cannot understand what his point is in this whole rant. I really cannot fish out this argument or whatever. It's some concise statement, because he's talking about everything.
Yeah,
it's
all mixed up, isn't it?
Yes, mixed up. 5 minutes talking the stream of consciousness, and I don't know what he's talking about.
It's probably grammar and logic as well, but the rhetoric is how it comes across, and it comes across as a garbled, nonsensical rambling of a crazy person to me.
Yes, he sounds like this, so I think he should work out this rhetoric part, or maybe even to write it down, because some people cannot say calmly concise statement, and maybe the better way would be to write it down and then read statement.
Yeah, from like make a video instead, right? Make welcome to the globe for adult videos, writing a script and then voicing it out like Blue Marble does.
Yes, for example, great rhetorist and the greatest, Marcus Tullius Cicero. I think that everybody knows who Cicero was. So he was the greatest, assumed the greatest rhetorist in the history, and he was writing down his speeches, and he learned them by heart. So this is not a shame to not have a gift of fluently speaking on the fly. Greatest rhetorists wrote down their speeches. So this is no problem. This is not a shame.
Yeah, it is interesting. Tepe's upset that level is horizontal. In reality, that's all we're saying. Nobody's saying anything about any models or anything. We just say, in reality, level obviously is horizontal. All of the tools called levels establish a horizontal plane of reference. even the one that's got water in a tube that all levels were made from, the ones that all modern levels are made to replicate, the water level. Now that is not an argument, that is just a statement. If you want to make an argument against it, be my guest. If you want to make an argument for it, even better. Gets you thinking about logic. Gets you thinking about way of proving things.
Yes, there is a Latin wording for that. To not argue against facts. So you cannot argue against facts. So if the water level is established as a fact, that it is a tool and is doing what it's doing, so we are dealing with facts. So I would say that it is very hard to disprove that. Only way would be to disprove water level or any level, to show that it does not establish horizontal and level. I think this is impossible.
And an equal elevation, right? You'd have to end up disproving mathematics, and that's a pretty tall job.
I think this is mission impossible.
Mm-hmm. It is, and that's why they're so upset. But it's also one of the reasons how we know for certain they cannot make an argument, because the proofs all lie within reality. And there are definitely proofs for level being horizontal in reality, right? Real proofs in reality, really. Zeptepi's saying level is still horizontal on a globe. However you want to picture it. Yeah, Zeppi. Level is horizontal. That's it.
I know this trick, because he's assuming that the level is curved, therefore horizontal is curved. But this problem is that level and horizontal, when they are curved lines, they are not parallel, because parallelism is in reference only to straight lines. So you cannot have with curved level, you cannot have horizontal parallel curved line. So another nonsense, geometrical nonsense.
Yes, that would be definitely, wouldn't it? That would be like a nonsensical, contradictory statement.
Yes, because there is no such thing as parallelism of curved lines in geometry. So
there's no definition of parallel. The only definition of parallel, right, is on a plane, two straight lines on the same plane that never meet. Because otherwise you could just have them nearly touching, but perpendicular, going off in different directions. That's why they have to be on a plane.
yes, because you can cross if you put one lower and one higher. You can intersect them, but on different planes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. And if extended, they would never meet because they're straight lines. So, they have to be on a plane, on the same plane, and straight lines. Concentric circles aren't parallel lines.
So he is not mentioning it, but he is thinking, I think, about curved. But this is nonsense, and that's why he is not writing curved horizontal. I'm waiting for what his name? Windows 12, yes, or not? No, Zeptepi, maybe.
Yeah.
So I am waiting when he will talk about curved level. That curved level and horizontal are true, because when he is saying horizontal and level, and he is not adding this curve, it means on the only way normal people can understand that this level is to be straight and
Well, see,
horizontal
I think
also.
he is at Tepe. I don't know whether you know him or not, but I think the reason he didn't say it is because it sounds ridiculous, and in order for him to not say it, he requires you to say it, like you just did. So therefore, you said the ridiculousness that I choose not to say as well. I like them to say it because it sounds ridiculous. I like them to hear themselves say the ridiculous things. Now, if you say it, they don't need to. You've just said it. They'll just say, I agree with what Paper just said. So I ask you in the future, please, can we not do that? Let them say it.
Okay,
And
I'm
then
just
it's
pointing
much
out their trick, because they are. This kind of saying is kind of lying by omission.
Yeah, but I mean, like, listen, if we're talking about 2D and everybody knows it to be a plane, and they know that horizontal is a plane and all the perpendiculars at each point would be vertical, like it states, then everybody knows that's a plane, right? It can't curve. So there's no point in saying that it might, because you'd have to let the people of the other people say that, because it's definitely not. It's a plane. There's proofs within the geometry to show that why it's a plane 2D. And I do know that some people have a weird conceptualization of something other than this two-dimensional plane surface that everybody knows about. But unfortunately, that plane surface that everybody knows about, I'm not too sure whether they're aware that you cannot curve that around a spherical surface. It just doesn't compute, let's say, mathematically. If you were to numberify it, you couldn't wrap a plane around a sphere. That would be ridiculous to think that. It's interesting, the non-argument that comes across. I think McToon was saying he might want to debate, or somebody said that they wanted to debate. I can't see how they can now. The geometric argument.
Don't discourage them.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on in the chat tonight. It was like, have we upset some new people? Sorry, guys. I don't know where they've come from, but they are especially upset tonight in the chat.
I don't know. Maybe some of them are old people renamed, but I don't know who Windows. I see first time Windows 12 and Zeptepi. I don't know them.
I think it's a little bit creepy with McToon. I've got a clip of him pretending to be a child. Play that. Let me get that. As we're talking about McToon, it's rather weird. I've noticed just recently that they're a little bit strange. Here we go. You listen to this. It's only 17 seconds.
Where are you? 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I allowed to be here?
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
12
I'm
young.
13, so I mean,
Okay,
you're
cool.
a little young, but that's fine.
I got a good fake ID though.
Be YOLO'd out of there. All right. And
Yeah, again. Do you want to hear this? Creepy as fuck, I know, but listen.
where are you? 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I allowed to be here?
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
12
I'm
young.
13, so I mean,
Okay,
you're
cool.
a little young, but that's fine.
I got a good fake ID though.
Be YOLO'd out of there. All right. And
Ugh. So I don't know about
his guest was supposedly 12, but of course I can recognize because I have enough voice recognition that I can say that this guest was not 12, absolutely. But his response is just nonsense. I don't understand.
they role play. They role play children in their streams. I mean, what more can you say?
Strange.
Yeah. It's like creepy, but yeah, that's what they do. And that meme is the GIF. That's a wolf pack sign. That I think that I don't know whether that's the flatsoid wolf pack or the other one. I'm not too sure, but yeah, that is the wolf pack sign from McToon.
Strange also because this finger at the lips, it sounds, it looks like this two Freemasonic signs. So devil horns and sign of silence. Maybe
he was telling
I am
me to be quiet in a debate. He'd muted me.
Oh, so my suspicions. I am suspicious, and maybe I am right. Don't know.
You know that. You know when he was talking. Did you hear that thing the other day when we were going over McToon? He said that he had a conical projection map. Well, that's it in the back. In the back there, he's got it on the wall.
Yes, he said that, but
Yeah.
I didn't notice any conical projection.
Yeah, that's the map that he's got on the wall there. He said he's put that on a sphere, 2D. He has. I've never actually seen that video, but he said it's one of his earlier videos. Bit like Blue Marble. Blue Marble did one as well. We'll have to go over that. I don't know whether we did go over it or not. We go over so many videos in the when we're not live that it's like we go over loads of stuff. It's funny in fact it's more comedy when you go over them. We can't do half of the stuff because people won't be able to speak freely like they do. So yeah, if you want to come in and get involved with all of the really good arguments and the inside arguments, Come onto the Discord server. Yeah, we have got some new people in the chat. Welcome, new people. What we do here is, especially every Tuesday, we go over the Trivium. Mainly tonight, we've been going over the fact that there can be no argument made in favour of the globe model. It's a strange fact, but one of those things that maybe you did, maybe you didn't know, that there are no proofs for the globe. May come as a surprise to people, but it's a well-known fact. There are no proofs for the globe model. And as such, that means that you cannot make an argument, because if you could make an argument, then you could prove something through that argumentation. As you can't have a proof, there obviously cannot be an argument made in favour for the globe. Doubt me? Try asking a glober. What's the best argument they can make in favour of the globe? Ask yourself what's the best argument you personally could make in favour for the globe. I always choose myself as the standard, because you're the only one that can find the proofs for yourself anyway. So try and ask yourself, how good an argument could you make? Could you even imagine how to make an argument for the globe? I can't. You need to make an argument about something in reality, and unless you think the globe is in reality, then try making an argument for it. You'll soon find out whether you think the globe's in reality or not. Oh, and yeah, the globe isn't the lights in the sky. That's not the globe. That's the lights in the sky. Everybody knows you can't predicate upon them. Look at that team, Gryffindor. What a team. We're making logical arguments of equivocation. Pick some round things and say by necessity the other thing must be round too, because other things are round. Not much of an argument, I don't think.
So I can science that is a big star, and he is on Flight the Flat Earth channel.
I don't think so. Somebody was just pointing out that they both have gone on live streams with Gryffindor t-shirts. I don't think they were on the same stream, were both wearing their Gryffindor t-shirts at the same time. That would be amazing. However, I don't think that would. I think somebody's just posted the two people wearing Gryffindor t-shirts.
Oh, okay. I thought they are talking to each other on the stream. It looks like.
Yeah, that would be amazing if we could set that up as a team Gryffindor. I can science that and fight the flat Earth. doing some sort of spaghetti science collab. That'd be amazing. See if we can set that up, guys. Anybody's listening, any of the Globe Council out there, get him on. Get him on. You need to do a flat ball stream for the Globe. Flat balls for the Globe. Sorry, 2D balls for the Globe. That's what we need to do. So we'll go over it tomorrow. Yeah, it is Euclid night tomorrow, and we will delve into 2D balls. Hopefully we can get Brenda. I don't think Chike's coming back again. He's still working for us on Twitter, doing an outreach program on Twitter. Maybe that's where some of these new people have come from. So welcome again. Maybe yeah. I'll go over basically. I'm Bev. I'm not a flat earther. And I do have a proof that level is horizontal. As do a lot of people around here. I mean, there are loads of them. It's not a unique thing to be saying. Obviously, some people who are tuning in may just think, why has he said that? Sounds really weird. Obviously, level's horizontal. Well, you'd be surprised. Somebody's in the chat. The new guy, Sean Davies. That sounds like a new guy. Welcome, Sean. Says, I get that it's not logical to point to the sky and say that's what we are, but by assumption, I can say that more than likely we are one of those. I couldn't do that. Interesting point of view, though. I don't think we've ever had. Have we ever had anybody come and try and do that? Like, because those around, we must be round.
No, but it would mean that we are points on the sky. So, so we are on the ground and points in the sky are in the sky. So we cannot occupy two different locations. Sorry.
Yeah. It is like pointing up at birds and saying, those birds means we must be birds too. Look at those birds up there. Similar sort of thing. Slightly different. But to me, it's as they're nowhere near the same thing. I don't think you can do that. And not very logical idea either. I wouldn't say. Is there any logical form that does that?
Maybe it was just a vague analogy. Maybe.
I like the idea of this getting together with the logic, right? It's flowing now. People are trying to have a go, especially the Globe. You're in for a bit of a shock. I bet anybody for the Globe side will be imagining that this logic thing is rock hard, like near impossible. to try and formulate a logical statement. Well, maybe your model that, like, because actually making a logical argument is quite easy when you know how. I think Brenda got upset earlier about, they keep saying, right, I've heard this a lot, that whenever you make a formal logical statement, even if it's a tautology, their initial reply will be that it's fallacious because of the first premise. And that'll be mostly the reply that you end up getting whenever you talk to one of these hardcore globe fanatics. They won't be able to explain why. They won't be able to formulate a counter argument or a rebuttal to what they think was wrong with it. But that will be the response. Don't worry. It's not that you don't understand logic. It's just that they cannot understand logic. It's the paralogism inbuilt with the globe model. Because the globe model states 'tis globe. Go on, sorry.
No, I was thinking about this statement, if the earth is flat, because their accusation is that you are using geometrical statement.
Yeah.
So using word flat means geometrically flat, but they want you to use this word flat in contradictory meaning to please them. But you are not doing that, and that's why they are angry. So there is no way to disprove that statement. So
I've got a clip here. Oh, something warms up. Of Rumpus, when he first started this, I call it diletheism, but it's like saying it out loud is sort of giving it power, right? Especially to these people, when they hear it said out loud, they have to defend it. He's done loads of them. Right, this one. It's only a 2-second clip.
Flat, they mean level, which means curved. Flat, they mean level, which means curved.
Flat, which means level, which means curved. That's Rumpus.
yes, so he is saying that level is curved.
Yeah, they have to have it, right? Flat has to be level and it has to be curved. So in Rumpus's mind, through this linking of if A equals B and B equals C, therefore A equals C. It's a logical statement, right, of the initial forming of logic, except Rumpus has linked flat to level to curved, which essentially makes flat curved. Rumpus. Very simple logic. If A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. Rumpus.
But in fact, they are not equal. That's kind of a circular reasoning, but because if he assumes that the level is curved, so he cannot prove that the Earth is a globe, because he has to prove that the level is curved in first place. But he cannot do that, and he cannot do that otherwise. So if he is assuming that the globe is that the Earth is a globe, then he can conclude that the level is curved. But first, he should prove that the Earth is a globe. But if he is using curved level, as a proof or evidence for a globe, so this is another circular reasoning. This is so no proof, because circular reasoning is not a proof. It's just a fallacy. So other way, or proving globe with curved level, or proving curved level with a globe. So this is funny, but and sad at the same time.
Yeah, Rumpus is setting it up that flat is curved because he knows the results and what will happen with any results. And he's preparing his friends. Oh, the results say it's flat. Well, he's going to be like, well, flat, yeah, flat's curved. Didn't you know?
Everything is all right.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Even though all of the elevation profiles show a horizontal baseline on a zero change of elevation showing a horizontal line, don't worry about it because it's curved, really. That's what Rumpus is going to try and explain to people. Hopefully there will be quite a few people with explanations, because there should be out there. There should be loads of globe, because they've been telling me, like, listen, if you listen to Rumpus and everybody telling me that the amount of times they've told me that the surface of a sphere is 2D, for instance, then you'll know the amount of times that they've actually told us that they think a horizontal plane is spherical. Geometrically, it has to be. The globe model dictates it. There's not many of them brave enough to say it.
Well, let's face it, the best globe logic, or the best logic to come from a globe, or when water forms a plane, there can be no globe.
Yeah, if water forms a plane, then there can be no globe. That was, that's some of the best globe logic we've ever heard.
But I can science that has to have a word with Rumpus, because Rumpus thinks otherwise. He don't think that that would be a problem, because this plane is curved. So I can science that at least he assumed that the plane is straight. But Rumpus thinks that the plane can be curved. So I don't know how they could resolve this problem.
Interesting, some of the conversations going on around this. All sorts of other arguments spread from this, rather than people just sticking to this very simple well, it's 2D, 3D, straight line circle, horizontal, level, sphere, or 2D. Make your mind up. Everybody's free to have their own opinions on anything. If anybody wants to come and voice their ideas about anything, nobody will make any judgments on anybody. We know multitude of people believe whatever they want to believe, but Rumpus has said tonight that if you think all elevation profiles ever drawn that seem to show a even elevation being a horizontal straight line, you think that, then you're a flat earther. Sorry to say, Rumpus has said it. And Rumpus is the guy that holds the pointing finger of who's flat earther and who isn't. He came in here specially to say thank you, Brenda, for doing it. Pointed the finger, said you believe points of equal elevation are a horizontal, like they are in every elevation profile ever drawn. If you do that, then you're a flat earther. So Rumpus has said it. I think I'll go back and clip that because it does need clipping. Just so we can let everybody know. I know people will go, who the fuck's Rumpus? Why should I listen to what Rumpus is saying? Just because Rumpus says I'm a flat earther doesn't mean I'm a flat earther. But still, it will be a clip to savour. About an hour back, I think it was. Anybody else wants to go and clip it? Just to show the friends.
It is very hard to spot the proper quote because he is talking with that disorder, and so you cannot just spot the some concise one part of sentence in his speech. So this is very difficult to spot what he's saying in first place.
Yeah, that may be why he talks like that.
Yes, it is my speculation about that.
That is actually rhetoric. True rhetoric, right? In order to get a nonsensical point across, in order to carry on an argument and keep talking.
Yes, but it may be some kind of masking tactic that he wouldn't be spot on the overt lie in that case.
Or maybe that is literally the state of his mind expressed verbally.
Yes, I
Possibly.
that's why I called it stream of consciousness.
Oh, we got Buster back. Are we? Is Buster on? Like, I don't want to rush you or anything, Buster. But yeah, you wanting to do the same as you did last night?
I won't be able to tonight,
No.
but probably tomorrow.
No problem.
No.
So, if anybody missed it last night, what we did when we finished this was went over to Buster live stream, and I think it worked brilliantly. A follow on,
Yeah,
from one stream to the other.
Really cool. And I'll shout out to everybody that did come over and watch at 18 years.
You got a break up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a bad connection. But let us know when you come back. Yeah, it was a good night. He had 18 people watching. A quick live stream of him playing a couple of tracks. Yeah, it's very good. All in preparation of a Buster live stream in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah. Am I back now?
I think so, yes.
I just wanted to say thanks to everybody that came over. It did go great, and just thanks. But tonight I was going to practice a couple of the older songs to do for maybe tomorrow. But yeah, I'll probably do at least half dozen more live streams before the big one.
Yeah, well, we'll carry on doing that. See if we can smoothen it out and make the
Yeah.
process. Yeah. That's going to be good. So that's what, we've got that coming. Buster live streams, music, going to be good. It does look like there's a fair bit of interest tonight with some new people coming in. It's been interesting. So somebody started off the canal gifs, horizontal planes, obviously geometric figures. I was going to say that paper a bit earlier that, you know, when I was taught logic at the beginning, I was always taught that in order for you to have a deductive, right, to be able to fully deduce from your logic, if you added geometry within it, it almost inevitably made that proof was provable, because the geometry element comes with so much backing that it almost makes it provable one way or the other, right?
Yes, it is. Many, for example, first proofs in first book of Euclid is just nearly tautological, but he is still proving that, because you can prove even evident thing. You can use argument, proper argument, and proof and syllogism. You can create syllogism upon evident things. You can still do that. It is not said that if you have something self-evident, you don't need to prove that, like axioms, but still you can use syllogism to prove axioms. Of course, they are not provable by mean of inferring from something else, but you can still do that. So this is you can create proofs upon common notions, for example, also. So this is just as exercise. So
yeah, the way I'd see it is an axiom is actually there. It's a self-evident truth because it is in reality, right? You can't make something up and replace that within the axiomatic system and then carry on with a system like Euclid, right? That axiomatic system is from reality. The
yes,
common notions are based within reality, right? They are rules of reality. And of course, they can be proved because they're in reality, right?
yes, you can make an example. From reality to and apply to this axiomatic system. So you can every time you can check with reality. Maybe not every time, because some things are not provable in physical reality. But maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it is possible to prove to see everything in real life within axiomatic system. I am not sure, but the fact is that reality will never go against axiomatic system and, of course, common notions.
See, I would say that because the axiomatic system survives unexploded, right? Explosive logic that's still fully formed at the end. That would go to show that all of the axioms at the beginning stand. That the framework that you've built it on, if it can last throughout, then it has to be proven that everything is within that system is provable, including the axioms. They're there and they are proved within the system.
Yes, in logical thinking, always you can, with chain proving, with chain syllogisms, you can go into so-called primitive, ontological primitives. So it is always the link between axioms and first principles of reasoning with even particular proofs for something. So because it is consistent, it is not just a separated thing that you are, for example, trying to prove some tiny things about part of reality, like horizontal and, for example, level. It is still always be linked with this axiomatic system and linked with ontological primitives and first principles of reason. Always. It will never violate it.
Yeah. See, the more I think of that rumpus and the horizontals being parallel on an equal elevation.
And curved. This is impossible. This is just contradictory.
Yeah. I wonder how many people Rumpus was actually speaking for. I mean, I wonder how many people are out there consider that if you look at an elevation profile and see that all the points along it, are the same. I wonder how many people are aware that those are flat Earth elevation profiles. Everyone. At least that's what Rumpus says.
Yeah,
It's
I
interesting,
think
isn't it?
this is kind of propaganda that to put globe deniers into flat Earth society. Just it.
Well, are you saying that in order to believe it's a globe, that you have to think that every elevation profile that's ever drawn for every building project that's ever been made, all of those have been done by flat earthers? You need
Yes,
that for your globe.
That would be
Interesting.
conclusion.
Yeah. I
So,
wonder how many globers are aware of that, and I wonder how many architects and building planners and geometers. I wonder how many people are aware of that sort of thing. So I've got a founding in building construction and surveying. I never understood why this group of people particularly had the geometric opinions that they do have, but it's pretty obvious now. Model affliction. Just a small group of people on Discord. Somehow we've found ourselves in a corner of the internet that seems to be populated heavily by these severely model afflicted people with no argument, and it shows. They're quite active in text chat. Obviously, because the rhetoric to be able to portray an argument within a conversation is quite hard to do when you can't think quick enough. But we're all in training of the Trivium here. As such, we challenge each other daily. Questions, conversations that we've had with other people. Check them over with each other to see what each other's opinions. There are a lot of different opinions. We personally get to hear quite a few. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like to hear certain people's opinions about their opinions. I like to keep it private. Well, that's why we go live. Just so anybody can have their say. So, anybody got anything to say? Any more Globers come in with any more arguments? Has anybody thought of an argument yet for the globe? 2D balls, perhaps?
Pictures from space.
Yeah, I know that we can dispel that as being an argument. Like, pictures aren't
Yes,
arguments.
because that's why they are saying that in science there is no argument or there is no proof, but there is only evidence. So they are trying to dismiss proof in science by saying that, of course, this is only dispelling, wizard dispelling, because it has no weight. These words have no weight, because science is always about proofs. So all science is based on proofs and arguments.
Yeah, we were talking about that this morning, and we said that once you say there's no proof, they say they have evidence, but then you point out that they have no argument, because that's a consequence of not having proof. Obviously, if you can't formulate an argument, then you're never going to have any proof, and they know they have no proof. Therefore, there is no argument to be able to form to give them the proof that they want. They know that they have no argument, and it's a shame, because over however many years people have been around here, nobody's realized there is no argument for the globe. So what have they been doing? What have the flat earthers been doing? If the globe earthers are already admitting they have no argument, they have no proof.
I think that's why they are trying to rearrange science as proofless science. But of course, all science is based on proofs. So proofless science is just not science. So you cannot have science without proofs, because what gives you a science is a proof. But they are trying to say that this is just spelling or wizardry or I don't know what. But if some scientists are saying that this is a guesswork or this is just a story, a fantasy or whatever, therefore it is not a science. And but they are trying to convince people, I think, maybe in next generation, that science it is not about proofs, and this is just a story, like Alice in Wonderland. So maybe in 50 years or whatever, Alice in Wonderland will be scientific book.
We need to bring back the word oxymoron, because proofless science is that oxymoron.
Yes,
science is the acquisition of knowledge, and the acquisition of knowledge is the gaining proofs of what it is you're talking about. You can't have proofless science. It's an oxymoron.
Yes, but I think that they are already started. They have already started this to exercise this oxymoron.
Yeah, accepted. oxymorons. It's an accepted contradiction.
Yes, like dark brightness or bright darkness.
Mm-hmm. Curved straight lines.
Yes, yes.
Curved level. Oxymoron. People are accepting it though. It's required for you to accept these contradictions. Accepted paradoxes. The globe model is rife with them. It's no big deal though. I mean, we've known it for quite a while. It's just that just recently the attack has been made on, well, I call it a gaslighting attack really. If Rumpus is going to come over and say that because we say that all elevation profiles that show an equal elevation show a straight horizontal line, he says that's flat earth. Well, I mean, who's Rumpus? What the fuck's he talking about? Does he really know what he's talking about? Is that the definition of flat earth? I'm guessing if Rumpus says it, the great Rumpus, if he says it, it must be going down. I mean, he's going to do the Bedford level test, isn't he? It's going to show that there's a drop of water over 17 foot on a stretch of water in between locks, commonly defined as a horizontal surface, but Rumpus says he's going to find 17-foot drop. That Rumpus. I mean, who is he really? Rumpus and Brenda. Are Rumpus and Brenda the top two globers that everybody's going to like realise that they're talking shit? Or because Rumpus says it, is that now the new thing? I mean, you do realise that's everybody that's ever made an elevation profile ever. It's just been named a flat earther by Rumpus. And the implications of that are dire. I don't wish it on anyone. Having Rumpus and Brenda point the finger at you and say you're a flat earther. I don't know whether we need to warn people.
But this is funny because if they are trying to convince people that flat earthers are people which are not believing in flat earth, because they say that earth is not literally flat, so it would apply also to globers, because they say that earth is not flat because it is curvature, but ignoring curvature, the earth is flat, and maybe that's why they need this flat curved surface. In that instant, they would call a flat earther everyone, just everyone.
Yeah, I think they're saying that that flat curves, like horizontal curves, and that's why. Well,
but if curving horizontal is still flat, that would mean that globe earthers are also flat earthers, because this curved horizontal or curved level is flat. So they
yeah,
are also flat earthers.
exactly. It's kind of weird.
And Wally's just give us a definition of a geoid. This is the geoid whose surface at every point is perpendicular to the local plumb line. Surface at every point perpendicular to the local plumb line. Now, the local plumb line can be anywhere where the person has the thing, so they can walk anywhere, I presume, locally, and at every point on that surface, the plumb bob would be perpendicular. There's only one surface that you could do that. Literally, only one perpendicular. That's what Wally calls the geoid in that particular bit. So thank you, Wally. Thanks for pointing that out. I'm sure everybody can work out what every point perpendicular to a surface would be and the shape of that surface. Thank you, Wally.
But I still don't understand why they are calling this geoid.
Just change names. You can't really call it a horizontal plane, can you? That'd be a bit obvious.
Yeah, they should ask back in the day.
Yeah, they've obviously changed it to add a new word in. It's the same as a horizontal plane, but just not a horizontal plane.
So maybe in the future they will change meaning also.
Maybe. I mean, why? When they can do it to the mind. Why do they actually need to lie and change the meaning when they can do it mentally to people and say the truth? I mean, that's far better, right? It shows how much control you have for you to literally be able to write it out like that and to people to blatantly not see what it said. They see something else. That shows way more control. Surely it should show you how good the programming is.
Yes, because it is assumed that if someone is reading, for example, some statement, programmed people would overinterpret this in such manner as it was intended in programming. So they don't even suggest
conclusion first.
Yes. So
always.
So if you have correctly biased people, they will read between the lines as intended.
Yeah, and they'll come up with the pre-programmed shape that's already there. His globe. First, every time, every order of thought relates to it. You can hear it. I mean, like over the last few years, definitely draw a circle. That's all they ever want to do. First thing. Interesting. It does keep me fascinated at how different people think differently about the same thing. How people can see the same thing differently and how easily that can be done. I call it literal wizardry because people have seen it. They know how it works. People can look at the same thing and see something completely different. People can hear a conversation and hear something completely different. It's fascinating.
if interpretation comes first and then so-called information, the effect would be similar, yes, because you are already prepared to correct, quote and quote, correct process thinking. So if, for example, some information is released in proper time, some people, I think, can expect other people to think and interpret this at this way as was intended. I think it is, but at any different time, for example, in different circumstances, or differently biased people could interpret otherwise. But interpretation first. So I think this is the process, inverted process of thinking. If you can still call it thinking, because I think that now we are dealing not with thinking, but only with association. And many people are confusing thinking with association. And that's why they cannot, for example, distinct between correlation or coincidence and causation, because for them this is the same. And in real logic system, it is not the same.
There's definitely a breakdown. We have noticed that there is a problem with logic. Now, I put it down to the fact that there's something. I mean, I think Buster says it. I don't know, what do you call it, Buster? Where accepted information, received accepted information has been built upon.
Yes, I was wondering about this word information, because this is, of course, of Latin origin, and it contains one prefix in, like in English, in or inside, information. So the information would mean that this is not just some kind of news. This is information, means that this is news or some kind of fact with interpretation, with intended interpretation, because so information is intended to form your mind, to change something in your mind. Not only that this is just information to know something better or to know more. No, information means that it will reshape your mind in some manner. So this is the meaning of Latin, because formation, like in English, is shaping into something. So that's the basic meaning of word information. And many people that thinks that information, it is something objective. No, it is intended to form your mind. And it was never used in that way before media era, because you just know something or don't know, but it was not called information. I never met this in old books and old texts. It's a new word which appeared with media. So I think it is a good word, because this is like propaganda. So information, I read this word like propaganda, to change your mind, to put you in that state that you have to think that way, about some things.
Yeah, I like
that's
it.
Me.
They are forming in your mind.
Yes, they are literally forming your mind by telling you something with a correlation with other things and so on. This is whole system. This is not separate thing. That's why, for example, if I can, I have no television, but of course via internet I can see something from television, but I am sure that if they are saying some things, even if it is separated from and seems separated, nothing to do with, for example, Western life, Western Europe or America, some strange things. So I know that this is not an accident because it has time and place, and this is intentional to inform, to maybe not now, but maybe in a few days or maybe in 2 weeks or few years, who knows, but this has to work in your mind.
Yeah, I get it. So in the form of the Trivium, you are given the tools for you to discern and do reasoning for yourself. Whereas the counter to that, if you take that away from people, you need a way to give people this, like what would be gained knowledge in the past or gained experience. You need another way of doing it. And I always remember the different ways of people learning. One of them was to like literally give them all of the stuff, make them recite it. You just literally pour information into and whatever gets stored. It's sort of gifts from the shadow giants, and that to me would be information, just filling the mind with things that there is no reasoning that goes around it. It's literally just something wrote in a book. Information, data.
Yes, but yes, this is good word, because difference between data and information is that this is like data with interpretation or suggested interpretation.
Yeah.
That you will think about this data in such a manner that is intended.
This
that
is
you
what
should.
this means.
Yes, this data you can interpret if you have if you have free mind with logic and your own tools, you can interpret this with your own logic. But if you haven't got a logic, you can take only given interpretation. So that would be information.
Yeah, you received some information. Somebody's given you. It's the received opinion of somebody else.
Yes.
About interpretation. If somebody's interpretation is their argument and their substantiation for that interpretation is just their interpretation, like there's nothing outside of their interpretation that they're bringing forward for their argument, would that be considered a valid argument, a valid method of arguing?
It shouldn't be, because information, for example, if you are hear something in television about, for example, facts, supposedly facts, but in fact you are receiving maybe facts, but interpretation for sure. And this is in scientific terms, this is not valid. You could not create a valid argument from that, because in social things you maybe could use that as a proof for or argument for something, but not in science. Absolutely.
I don't think that
But I
whenever
mean,
you hear that, like we've heard it tonight, just unsubstantiated claims made by somebody about somebody else's shadow giant, possible words wrote in a book, possibly by the person themselves. You know, it doesn't really substantiate much of an argument if you're basing your argument on some unsubstantiated view that somebody holds somewhere about a
like
non-existent argument. God, sorry.
to be more pointed, you know, as an example, and to clarify what I'm saying, like data, right? Like you can observe and record data, and your interpretation of that data is not necessarily facts. Like it's not the data. Your interpretation of the data is not the data. The data is the data. So, like, take, for example, a horizontal line. You're measuring a horizontal line. You're measuring a difference from that horizontal line. That's data. Your interpretation of that data is not an argument for the factual basis of that measurement, that data.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's so important to, I guess, begin your thought processes or your arguments with first principles, with something that is concrete, you know, something that's demonstrable in I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's
It is
less vague as an interpretation from said data. You know what I mean?
Yes, but problem with data now is that you are receiving data from some kind of devices, and you not necessarily
Yes.
know how this device is working, and
And that's
maybe
why I question how the data was derived. Like, how was this data generated in the first place? Was it generated under the assumption of an interpretation from previous, you know, observations, or is this raw data that we can then start fresh with without any preconceived notions of what the data is to represent or mean?
yes, for a perfect example would be this fiber optic something gyroscope. So because normal gyroscope is doing what is doing without asking your permission. You don't
Yep.
need to ask gyroscope to keep rigidity in space, because as you rotate it, it always will do that. But I don't know what about this fiber optic something strange gyroscope. What is, because for me this is contradictory. That's why, for example, data from this strange gyroscopic device, I wouldn't rely on that. But I can rely on that normal gyroscope because it is physically doing what it's doing, and I can see that with my own eyes.
Yeah, there's less interpretation required for the information that you're getting, right?
Yes, generally that's for it would be common notions like shining sun or whatever, because you cannot deny that because your senses of all people, let's say not blind people, are telling the same. So this is that would be reliable data.
Chikey's clipping arguments. He's clipping bits. I hope you're listening, Chikey. Hope you get your YouTube career up and running. Oh, well, Twitter, you know. But get YouTube going. I hope so. Chikey's doing some good work for us over on Twitter. He's keeping the globe experts. He did find us a globe surveyor just recently, Chikey. So now there is a new globe surveyor on the cards. He is a 2D surfacer, a globe surveyor. Very good. There's loads of them. These claims are coming out now. That Rumpus has said that elevation profiles with the horizontal baseline the same. That means flat Earth. So the globe surveyor obviously can't have that. So it'll be interesting to have a word with the globe surveyor as to exactly how he does survey and measure elevation, if it's not to a horizontal baseline. It's going to be a good close to the year. See, we're going to get the proof thing. Obviously, the proof's going to come around very soon, because consequent of having an argument, no proof. You could even write a logical statement about that. If you cannot formulate an argument, then you will have no proof. There is no proof for the globe model, therefore there can be no argument formulated in favour of the globe. Just a quick one. Just try and make an argument in favour of the globe. Think back to when you were at school, everyone. What was the best proof that you ever had of globe? What did the teachers tell you about the globe? What did they do in college?
You don't believe in proof, you can't formulate an argument.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good conversation starter, isn't it? Within the debate format. What's your best argument for the globe? And then you could point out whenever they can't. You could say, well, that may be one of the reasons you don't have a proof, because you can't make an argument. So it's not that there is, there's no way for them to acquire a proof. Of course, you can find proofs all over the place. You need the ability to formulate an argument to end up with the proof. And it seems to be that they're lacking, really. How to make an argument. Maybe that is. I don't want to, I want to help them out. So we'll just watch over the next coming weeks to see how the most severely model afflicted globe proponents deal with the fact that they don't have an argument.
I would suggest that the best, maybe not the best, but good good way to start thinking about argument is to think first about axioms and common notion, because it is better to start from common notion, for example, to prove something, rather than starting, for example, with gravity. Because we have gravity, therefore, on this model, it has to be that way or that way. So this would be begging the question. So my suggestion would be that don't start with begging the question, and rather to search some common notions, what we can see in real life, what could support this claim. Because starting with, for example, with gravity, or with argument like rotating stars proves rotating Earth, so this is quite contradictory. So maybe start to search for some evidence in real life and common notion, maybe whatever, but not that convoluted begging the question, because this is not good start. And even if the argument would be valid in further process of argumentation, it still would be begging the question. So you have in that instance to prove your premise first. Because in argumentation, you start with a premise which is proven or is axiomatic or common notion. So if you cannot start with a thing you have to yet prove, because it is just or circular reasoning or just begging the question.
Yeah, it has to follow on from something, right? It has
Yes,
to have started from somewhere.
Some proven thing or some evident thing, to have a solid ground to process next, for example, syllogism. So, for example, if we have syllogism that all people are mortals and Socrates is mortal, no, Socrates, all people are mortals, Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. So we start with, this is example syllogism, I think, in even in Wikipedia as example of syllogism. So we start with this statement that all people are mortals, because we experience that. This is firm premise. This is not just flawed, that maybe some people are mortal or maybe some are not, but from our experience, we know that all people are mortal. So we can start to create syllogism from that. And we have true and validated conclusion. But we have, if we start from the globe, because there is a globe, therefore, so you cannot prove a globe from that.
Tis globe, therefore globe.
Yes.
Well, if they can't have that sort of logic, then they're going to be struggling. But they'll come up with something. I mean, they've got some of the cleverest people around. You've obviously heard them talking about how clever they are. Or maybe how stupid you are. But that makes them really clever. So they'll be able to sort this out, no problem. They'll be like, here's an argument. Would you guys buy a Tis Globe t-shirt? Tis Globe. Has to be. It has to be. Living Shadow Giant. That'd be another one. There are a few of those around. Only on the Globe side. And where are they now? Oh, Negative might want to come in, yeah. We'll keep it going. Hopefully Negative can come in. I've invited Negative Exponents in because he has some information about Red's rhetoric. Now, we did go over it at the beginning. Red's about where he's been. He's been away for a bit and he's come back. And he's doing this debate thing. So hopefully Negative can come in and shed a bit of light on where Red's rhetoric's been, what he's been doing, all of that, hopefully. And possibly why he's a bit reluctant to debate anybody. I think Negative Exponents would like a word with Reds as well, but it seems like he only talks to flat earthers anymore. That may be because of something that Negative Exponents has said. So yeah, Negative Exponents has been working quite closely with Unirock. There's a few different smaller communities around these parts. So hopefully we can get Negative is in. Welcome.
What up?
Right.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I was just explaining to everybody that at the minute Red's rhetoric is he's decided that he wants a debate for some reason. I don't know why. I don't want a debate with him because whatever. But I mean, I will take a debate just to see what he's like. But I was explaining to everybody because there's a lot of people around here that don't really know who Red's rhetoric is, and he was a big name, right? One thing, and
he was the biggest.
He's
he was the biggest.
Go on.
Yeah, he was definitely probably like the heavyweight champ of the flat earth or the debunkers. And then after I busted those burners, between Nate and Uni, yeah, he didn't really do it. It was my video, describes it all, shows everything. I mean, we busted his ass. He disappeared for a year. Now he's back trying to make a little comeback, but that's kind of when Fight took over and thought he was. But he's horrible though at it. Team was really good actually. Team was good at it, and he was at least nice. But I mean, Red has a couple things he'll go to, and I know exactly. I mean, he's always goes to the equatorial mount, and then he'll do okay. Yeah, then he'll do he'll do equatorial mount, the Tampa Bay blink test that he did. Let's see what's his other go-to. Oh, when he did the moon test, where he ISS transit, where he got the side. So those are his like 3 go-tos that he's going to go to every time. If you challenge him on what you've been talking about recently, I don't know how. I've never seen him be asked those questions before, and he's so out of practice too. He doesn't know the new debates in flat Earth.
I was saying that, like, I mean, I did just say that it was Wally, where's Wally, that initially said in here that it would be good for me and Reds to have a chat. And I said, well, I've never actually had a word with him. So I don't know. Like, it would be good for me to chat to him. And he's decided now to have this.
He's a degrading little prick. I mean, he's so condescending and smug, and oh, I can't stand him. Can't stand a little asshole. But I mean, he's the ugliest motherfucker you've ever seen. Ugly. I know I shouldn't. I know. No one knows what he looks like, and he tries to keep that a secret. But no, I mean, I've spoke with his. I did so many interviews with people that know him. I mean, I mean, he's in real life. He's done some fucked up things too. He's a real tough guy on the internet. In real life, he's a pussy. Like Southern.
We are live.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was Yeah, I was like, well, it's still. I just won't cast a criticism anymore about it.
Yeah.
But he's not a. That's the only. But where were we at? Yeah, like Southern Israelite he wanted to. I guess Southern Israelite challenged him. Red's like, oh yeah, they went back and forth. Southern Israelite tried to set up something, and Red's is like, he's like, oh, if you come down here, I'll definitely approach you, but I promise you, you'll be the one to throw the first punch, but I'm gonna end it. He's like, remember, in Florida, it's stand your ground. So pretty much saying, he's got a history of brandishing firearms, threatening women with firearms. I mean, yeah. But I mean, other than that, I mean, what do you want to know? I mean,
well, I mean, there is a group of people here that aren't aware, right? We aren't flat earthers. We've never been interested in any of that, really. I don't give a shit about what anybody thinks the shape of anything is. Not really interested in it. But in order for me to learn how to communicate with people, I'm interested in this debate with Reds now, because he is called Reds Rhetoric. I would love to see what he's like. But like you say, he's not aware of any of the sort of conversation that we have. It's a new, different type of conversation.
Exactly. He's not stuck to. Yeah, I'd say like the last big thing, maybe like the Black Swan type stuff. I don't even know if he knows that really well, but because he had left, I'm not sure if he stayed up. I'm sure he didn't. So, but I know he doesn't listen to you guys talk, and yours is on a whole different level than like the 24/7 Discord and what they talk about. So, yeah, you've got a completely different style approach. I mean, in the way actually that'd be a really good debate, because he claims that math is his thing, but I don't know. You guys seem to have your shit together too.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. He wants me to say I'm a flat earther, but I'm not a flat earther. But like we said with Rumpus said earlier, there are people that consider if you think an elevation profile and the same elevation is a horizontal line, that, like Rumpus said earlier, you are considered a flat earther to people like Rumpus. And I'm considered, I think, Red's rhetoric should also think similar. So when I say I'm willing to go into a debate scenario with the fact that horizontals are parallel and a water level is a tool for establishing that horizontal, that should be right up his street if they think that horizontal at even altitude or even elevation is flat Earth. He should be right on it. I mean, if that's what he's after debating, then he should be able to do it, shouldn't he?
He'll be able to, he's good enough. I mean, he'll be able to hang with, but I mean, I don't know if he knows the actual math the way you do. And I mean, he's a good debater. Because he's going to try to lock you in. Back. I mean, he's got tactics. I mean, I can tell you right off here that might help. Let him be controlled. Try to be control of everything. And I mean, that's what you're doing, man. You try to gain that control and that over the other person and get them started agreeing. He'll start, trying to get you to agree to his defined terms. But they always, that's what him and Steve do both. They try to nail you down to the split. If you can agree to their terms, they pretty much got you. So.
Yeah, they want me to agree to a position that's undefendable, right?
Yeah.
And then they've obviously won. So I'm never going to agree to a position that's you can't defend. That's ridiculous.
When they agree to terms, when you try to debate, like you'll say, well, what do you consider level? And so, like, if you were actually debating so intellectually honest, you two would come, for this second, because you're having a debate, you come up with something that works. Okay, for the purposes of this debate, level is going to mean this. And, because you can get, you can cite two different sources and it's going to tell you two different things. He's really good about that. He'll cite something, but the way he cites it is he kind of uses the same tactic he does. There's a little bullying involved, a lot of sarcasm with him. I think he's good enough not to have to do that. I mean, he hasn't really talked about this stuff. I've never seen him debate this type stuff, so I know his opinion has.
I can't see him doing it. And Fight the Flat Earth as well. He's running. He can't defend this.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Team said he thought he was a good geometer, and he offered a debate, but he soon backed down from that one.
You offered one?
Yeah, Team offered a debate about geometry.
That must have been a while ago. Yeah. He's been at a flat Earth for so long. He saw the decline coming, and he started diversifying before before the continent really went that direction. And he's doing that, covering the auditor and stuff now, and he's doing really good. His channel's growing. He's getting 2,000 live views a stream, so he's always been more respectful of people. I never liked the making fun of them part, just because you have different beliefs. Like JM and I are friends. I trolled him when we first met, and I felt bad about it. I went on his show, a team show, when he had JM on the next time, and apologized publicly because I did feel bad. I mean, I was like, shit, I shouldn't have done that. I feel like an asshole. Where line. So I felt, now him and I met, he came down to Florida, and I spent the day with his family. I'm like this little, lucky skin of us running on the beach. I mean, it was supposed to be a goofy little, we're making fun of ourselves. And God, they took it so seriously. Like, look, he's a flat earther now. Like, no, I can be friends with him, and I don't agree with everything he says. But I don't have to. It doesn't.
They're just
doesn't make
people.
it.
Everybody's
There's people
just
trying to
people.
find the truth. And I'm trying to, I want the truth too. I have about something happened recently that's made me really think about that. Family stuff. And that's really got me thinking about that. But I just want the truth. I've been agnostic, since my teens. I just never felt anything when I went to church. And I had so many questions I didn't have answers to, and something happened the other night that something happened the other night. Right when the girl was over, we were talking about. I was telling her this. Her and I have gone back and forth about it for years, and the thing that happened. She's like, "Do you think that was a answer to your question?" I was like, "Actually, holy fuck!" I was like, "Damn." I'm sorry, damn. I forget where. So, yeah, I want this. But honestly, if all the governments come out tomorrow and have to say, "Oh, it's flat. We've been messing with you guys," my life's gonna carry on. I've got bills. I'd say, "Oh, okay." It's not gonna change much in my life.
It won't change anything. Like, there is only
No.
reality, so nothing is ever gonna change.
Yeah, exactly. Most of us live paycheck to paycheck, have bills to pay, have families. That's what we're going to care about. We're going to look at it over for a second and say,
a problem's going to occur in the mind, in the minds of a lot of people, and it's how well can you hold your own mind together. With this, it's going to be really strange. I've noticed that there's a lot of people that are struggling.
That's what made me. I had a talk with UE on. It was about a year. It was probably about a year and a half. Actually, I might be average. Few minutes. We just spoke, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, I don't know everything I thought we did. It's not as black and white as I thought it did, as I thought it was. So it definitely kept me open to a lot more. So if I thought that was set in stone, is now up in the air.
Right, okie dokie. Just let us end this live show. Yeah, you're cutting out a bit. I'll just end the live show and then we can have a chat in here, not live. All right, okay. Thanks for joining us. It is end of Trivium Day. Tomorrow will be Euclid Geometry Day, and we will be going over the 2D, 3D flat ball surface that is required. So we'll leave it at that. Let me sort out a Buster song, and okay, I know what I know. All right, thank you very much, and we will see you tomorrow, Euclid night, 8:00 p.m. UK. See you there.
double think clouds your mind. If you walk that road, you'll be left behind, like swaying branches in the air, lost in confusion, filled with despair. Arguments and fallacies taken from the book of lies and deceit. There are those who will never see the gift of Logos that was given to me. And I know how water flows, and I know what level shows it. You'll be wasting your time, trying to change what's been defined. I know what I know. I know what I know. You don't know what you don't know. Blackpool paradox. You think it's measuring, but it's not. It's optical phenomenon. All you fools think you know what's beyond. I know how water flows, and I know what level shows it. You'll be wasting your time, trying to change what's been defined. I know how water flows, and I know what level shows it. You'll be wasting your time trying to change what's been defined.
Horizon means the line where the sky meets the earth. Yeah, that's the definition I'm going by.
All
And I'm saying-
horizontals are
No, let me
parallel to
finish,
the
let me
plane of the
finish.
horizon.
Let me finish. You can't just spout